To get her project started, she focused on grassroots efforts in her home state of Texas.
I began immediately attending athlete agent days, getting to know the players, sometimes getting to know the players at the high school level as well, so that they begin to establish relationships. So when they are ready to pursue going pro, they remember you, they have a relationship with you, and they're comfortable with you. I also took an approach of meeting many trainers, talking to the media.
Liberty's firm represents athletes across the NFL, Canadian Football League, and the United Football League. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mist tints. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowe's.com/same-day delivery.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
To the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping. Like a heartbeat's call, he's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. You've made it to Friday, February 27th, 2026, and almost the last day of Black History Month. I'm not entirely sure how productive this Black History Month was because, you know, we have an administration that didn't necessarily prioritize it, but that's neither here nor there. I crashed Homer and Dame Elsie's morning show today because I felt like I had to. I don't typically do that. I got my own show. I should have been preparing for my conversation I'm going to have with you all for 3 hours, but I couldn't help it. And it was the topic and, of course, I'm going to discuss the topic as well because I think it's one that doesn't need to be discussed, but I don't want to overlook it because I'd like to think it's just common sense that you don't go certain places intoxicated. You just shouldn't. It's a really, really bad choice. You may be in this place that you shouldn't be going to intoxicated because you may have already previously expressed really bad judgment. Like I said on the morning show, the most important place that you may go on a particular morning, a particular afternoon, is in a courtroom to see a judge. You're about to get sentenced. You either pled guilty or you were found guilty, and you're about to go in front of a judge. Now, Milwaukee County Circuit Court judges are extensions of the state, meaning the law you broke violated a state ordinance, and this Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge has up to the maximum penalty created by our state lawmakers. So they can go all the way up to that maximum. They also can give you minimums. They can give you a stayed sentence. But you have to keep this in mind. And those of you that know somebody, or maybe it's you, that has interactions with the criminal justice system, you have to know going into that courtroom that that judge has the ability to give you the maximum sentence. And I'm sure if you had an attorney, your attorney probably told you what that maximum sentence was. And I'm sure you don't want the maximum sentence. You would like to get some leniency. If you are appearing in court smelling of marijuana, you are probably going to influence the judge in a very negative way. And I'm just not sure why you would want to do that. Or maybe, just maybe, the consumption of marijuana is so ubiquitous in our city and in our society that people don't think that it's bad, or you could be looked at negatively, or it could impact how long you spend in jail, because it's so everywhere. And I think some of us may not appreciate just how incredibly common it is. And when something is really common, even if it is illegal, even if it's unethical or immoral, and I'm not saying that consuming THC products is unethical or immoral, but it is illegal. And if you're going in front of an officer of the court and you're about to get sentenced, it just seems like you don't know, you don't care, you're not self-aware, or you have been drowned in a culture where the consumption of an intoxicant, and let's not compare marijuana and THC-derived products to cigarettes, because we've had that discussion a couple of weeks ago with the Golden Nest Pancake House Cafe, whatever restaurant in Wauwatosa. And what I got upset about when we had that discussion is the business, and the business has every right to do this. I think some of us may not know that businesses are private entities. They can refuse service to anyone. Now, they can't refuse service based on disability, gender, sexual orientation, race, country of national origin. That is illegal for them to do that. But when it comes to other things, they can post a dress code. They also can say if you smell of marijuana, you are not allowed in this establishment. But for some reason, far too many of us took that as racism. And I had to step back for a second and digest that, because we know that every race, every group, every culture consumes marijuana. In fact, black people and white people consume it at the exact same levels. It's within 1%. Like one group, like 13%, one group is 14%. It almost is interchangeable how often African Americans and those Caucasian folk consume marijuana. But for some reason, even though it's literally a small percentage of our community, we think that it's a part of who we are. So if a business says that they don't allow someone smelling of marijuana in their establishment, we take that as racism. When did smelling like weed become black? That upset me, because I don't want anyone to think that it's a part of our culture writ large, like it's who black people are. Because at the end of the day, if somebody thinks that about our culture, they're not going to take us serious. And here's one thing that I know. Black folks don't like to be played with. We don't like to be considered a joke. But there's a story that appears via Fox 6 Now, which is our local Fox affiliate, where Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski, who's a tough cookie, he's a tough one, he is complaining about the smell of marijuana, not just in the courthouse, in the hallways, but in his actual courtroom, meaning either someone in there waiting to be sentenced, and this is a criminal court, or the defendant that he was about to sentence got high before they went to court. I don't know who is advising these folks, but you probably don't want to do that when the judge has the ability to give you the maximum sentence. But I want to have a conversation with you all about the pervasiveness of the problem. And for me, it doesn't even matter if THC-derived products in marijuana is legal or not. It is how so many people think that it is normal, it is okay, and even relegated to blackness when you smell like pot. Dame said I was aging myself, that I sound like I'm an old person because I may take issue with going to an establishment and smelling somebody's marijuana. If I go to an establishment, if I go to a restaurant, the only thing I want to smell is food. I don't want to smell a person who is unhygienic. I don't want to smell cigarette smoke. I want to smell the food because that's what I'm there to do. I'm there to hang out, to fellowship, and to eat. It may drive me away as a customer if a particular establishment caters to people that get status by how strongly they smell of marijuana. And there are some people that do that. They get status from, oh, I got the stinkiest weed ever. I'm going to bathe myself in it so that people look at me like I'm special. I think that's a really low-brow way to get your status. But again, it is what it is. But I don't want it to be relegated to, oh, this is just something that all black people do. Now, I remember back in the day when I may or may not have tried. Maybe I inhaled, maybe I didn't. But if that was the case some time ago, you know, back in the 90s before we had cameras and social media, when you could actually live your life and go do stuff and nobody knew about it except for the people that you were there with, we didn't want anybody to know that we were high. First and foremost, we'd be targets for the police. But it was nothing to brag about. We didn't want everybody to know. In fact, I've heard that youngsters back in the day, because they wanted to conceal the fact that they were intoxicated. Plus, nobody's going to give you the benefit of the doubt if they know you're high. If something happens, it's your fault. You're high. And you can barely defend yourself. You also want to be vigilant when you're in public, probably more so now than ever before. You don't want to be in public with your motor skills slowed down, your depth perception messed up. We have mass shooters and tragedies and emergencies. Going out in public, you have to be more vigilant now than probably ever before. Why would you want to do that high? And you probably drove high, too. You know we got a reckless driving problem in this city. We used to carry Visine because we didn't want our eyes red. Now, our eyes would be very low. That you can't really hide. But we didn't want anybody to know. And I think there has been a fundamental change and a shift in how people perceive someone who is imbibing in marijuana. And the other thing is there's something real specific about smoking. Smoking anything, we know it's bad for your health. And it's also just a really low rent thing to do. Sorry, guys, those of you that smoke cigarettes or smoke anything, if you need to get high, there's so many ways to do it. There's drinks, there's little beverages, there's these little drops, these little, they call them tinctures. You put a little couple of drops in your water, bloop, 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 or in your soda pop, bloop, bloop, you get high that way. There's edibles, there's candies, there's gummies. But there's something specific about smoking that just seems so incredibly low rent. And I'm sorry if I'm offending you folks. But it's also very intentional. So I'm going to take a break, come back. Talk about Judge Borowski, who is known for being exceptionally harsh to defendants in his courtroom. And if you were to appear in somebody's court, don't they let you know what judge you're going to see when you have your sentencing? I'd imagine they do. It's probably on your court documents, or your public defender or your private attorney knows which judge you are going to be facing. And I would encourage any and all of you, if you're about to see a judge, and it's on your documents, your filing documents, if it's on the criminal complaint of what judge you're going to see, what branch of the circuit court you're going to be visiting for your sentencing, please research that judge. Please research them. See what people are saying about them. See what some of their previous sentences that they've handed down, especially for crimes similar to yours. And once you do that research, which I'm assuming this person did not, they don't exercise very good judgment if you're going to go into a courtroom high. I literally can't think of anything more important you're going to do that day. But you went into Judge Borowski's courtroom high, and there's an audio clip, which I'm not going to bother playing because they played it on the morning show, where he said, well, I smell the marijuana, but it's not going to affect the sentence. I think the judge felt like he had to say that, but I know that it would. Because that's disrespectful to the judge and to the court. You couldn't not get high for 2 hours. So I'm going to take a break, come back, read the article, and I guess we got to discuss it because it's terribly unfortunate, and I just don't want our community that really needs to be taken seriously to be relegated to a bunch of people that smoke weed and want everybody to smell it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the second annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 101.7 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 101.7thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Curly wants to know why are folks arriving at the courthouse smelling like weed make sense. It's becoming so cultural, and also legalization has had an impact on the culture. And when legalization happens, and a lot of people have clamored for legalization in Wisconsin, I have too, but now I'm starting to retract that a little bit because there's no explanation of where you can and where you can't. An employer can still drug test you. People forget that part. They think that if it's legal, it's a free-for-all. You can do it wherever you want. You can walk around the streets and do it. So with alcohol, which is also very legal, and people oftentimes make that comparison, you can't walk around the streets. Only in designated areas, at designated places, can you walk around with an open intoxicant. You certainly can't have one in your vehicle. Even if you are not actively consuming, if somebody in the back seat is drinking a beer, you, the driver of that vehicle, is going to get cited. That's a moving violation. You can't have an open intoxicant of alcohol in your vehicle, and alcohol is extremely legal. Whole industries are built on alcohol. So when something is legalized, I don't know if there's a necessary either education component or just at the end of the day, it's etiquette. I've grown used to it. Whenever I am outside, it doesn't matter if it's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, 25 degrees below zero or 100 degrees with 100% humidity. You smell it in the city of Milwaukee all of the time. All the time. So legalization comes with some pitfalls, and I got the details of because I don't think people are really clear on the law here. It's still illegal in Wisconsin. If you get caught with marijuana twice, it's a felony. You can go to prison for that. A lot of folks don't know that. It's still very, very illegal at the state level here in the state of Wisconsin, and people have gotten sentenced for it. But when it is legal, it becomes much more accessible. And when something is accessible, you have to worry about this one thing that we oftentimes forget about because people they're selfish in wanting vices legal because they think that, oh, now I can do this in peace and I don't have to worry about getting in trouble or getting prosecuted or getting a ticket. And there's other people that want to capitalize off the legalization of marijuana because these states have bragged on how much tax revenue that they have collected. And whenever you talk about additional tax revenue where the taxpayers, individual people, and workers are not footing the bill, then everybody is very excited about that. Colorado bragged that they built a whole bunch of new schools for marijuana taxation revenue. But when you have something that is legal and available everywhere, and let's be clear, because of the 2018 Farm Bill, there's marijuana dispensaries in the city of Milwaukee. Now, there's some fine print on the amount of THC that they are able to contain. But then there was a recent testing from Milwaukee dispensaries. When I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I listed like 12 of them. They're literally everywhere. The amount of THC that exists in these legal dispensaries way exceeds what is legal. Way exceeds. So basically you can buy the same strength marijuana and THC here in Wisconsin. You even got to cross the state lines. But when there is legalization, you got to worry about kids getting it. Because a lot of these gummies and stuff, that stuff is designed for kids. Let me give you another example. So I used to smoke cigarettes. It's hard to believe. I barely believe I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke a pack a day. But also when I smoked, cigarettes were cool. Talk about how far we have come as a society. There used to be a time where if you smoked cigarettes, you were cool, you were a rebel. Now, you were doing something very adult. So stupid. But they also used to have candy cigarettes. When we were children, you could go and get candy cigarettes. Now, they were sticks of bubble gum wrapped in whatever that white chewable substance was, and you can pretend to smoke. And there were some candy cigarettes where they have like a little bit of powdered sugar in them. So if you blew out, a little bit of smoke would come out. That was to get children used to, ingrained, and indoctrinated in smoking culture. There were billboards dedicated to smoking advertising. If you walked into a corner store or a liquor store, they don't do this anymore because they made it illegal. I'm fairly certain the Federal Trade Commission has got regulations on this. So if you were a child and you went to a liquor store or you went to a corner store with an adult, and you go up to the counter where the clerk is, where the cashier is. They're behind this counter, you see. But below the counter, you'll have Newport Pleasure, or Marlboro Reds. You'll have cigarette ads, placards, like little posters, right there on the front of that counter where you have the cashier behind the counter. They place those ads there so that they were eye level with children. When they have these THC products that look like candy, they even have some that mimic Skittles and other popular candy, like the packaging looks exactly the same. Go and look up how many children, little children, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds that think that these marijuana products are actual candy, and they got to take these children to the emergency room. It's a real thing. And the states that legalize don't ever talk about that. They just brag about the tax revenue. So there are pitfalls to legalization that I don't think that people are aware of. And we have enough problems here in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin where I don't know if marijuana legalization would solve any of them. Nobody's going to jail for it anymore. That was one thing that people would use to justify legalization. Oh, it's incarcerating so many people. Don't nobody go to jail for weed no more. Now, Milwaukee County, under previous district attorney John Chisholm, reduced the fine for less than 25 grams. And 25 grams of marijuana is a lot. It's quite a bit. 28 grams is an ounce, and an ounce is a pretty fair amount of marijuana. The fine is only $1. Now, it's still a misdemeanor. It's still registered that you got caught with marijuana, but the fine is no longer criminal. Because what John Chisholm found and his assistant district attorneys is that it was overwhelming the system where there are real hardened, violent criminals coming through the Milwaukee district attorney's office. Like the DA's office prosecutes criminals. And they found it a complete and total waste of resources to prosecute people criminally and to give them court dates because they got caught with a little bit of marijuana. So what they did is they just made it's like a civil forfeiture of only $1 if you have less than 25 grams. But what oftentimes happens, though, is someone might be in trouble for something else. You're getting pulled over for something else. Maybe you got a gun in the car and you got weed. It's rarely just marijuana. Because most police, they're going to write up all this stuff just for a little bit of weed. But it is not legal. But there's not corresponding education to tell people about the etiquette. You should not want anyone to know that you are high unless you just don't care. And I don't want to talk about people having drug problems, but if enough people are doing something, if enough people are engaging in something, like we have an alcohol problem in Wisconsin, and there are tons of alcoholics, tons. Some are functioning, some are not. Some will die, some will be perfectly fine. Some alcoholics live to be 95 years old and won't die from cirrhosis of the liver or stomach cancer. They're going to die by getting hit by a bus. So it varies. But because so many people drink, it's hard to tell who the alcoholics are. I'll give you an example of drinking. We love drinking here in the Wisconsins. Oh, we love it so much. You ever been to a Packer tailgate? Good luck if you tailgated for a Packer game. These people start drinking at 7 o'clock. You're lucky if you can even make it into the game. Oh, Brewers? Don't even start. The name of our baseball team is the act of making beer. Think about that for a second. I'm not sure if they do this anymore. Do they still have alcohol sponsors for NASCAR? They may have stopped that. Think about the oxymoron that is. Oh, and here comes number 3, Dale Earnhardt V in the Budweiser car. Wait a minute, you shouldn't be advertising beer on a NASCAR. That literally is drinking and driving, right? That's stupid. Don't make no sense. Here he comes. Look at that, first place. A Budweiser car, followed by Miller and Coors. 1, 2, and 3. It's a bad combination of having an alcohol company sponsor a NASCAR, because then somebody might see that and say, well, you know what? If Dale Earnhardt V just won a NASCAR race while drinking some Budweiser, maybe I should do the same thing when I'm in the pickup line getting my kids from daycare. Don't do that. Not a good look. Milwaukee courthouse marijuana odor draws criticism from judge. A Milwaukee County judge publicly criticized the lingering smell of marijuana inside the Milwaukee County courthouse during a sentencing hearing on Thursday, February 26th, so just yesterday. Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski addressed the odor in his courtroom and the hallway outside during court proceedings, and this is what he says, quote, "I'm going to say I'm not thrilled that my courtroom smells like marijuana," Borowski said, "and the hallway outside my courtroom smells like marijuana. Awful ton of marijuana. There's nothing I can do about that, but it's inappropriate. It's still illegal, and anybody that thinks it's a good idea to get high before you come to court really needs a reality orientation." That's a side note. It has nothing to do with the sentencing, but that's what it's coming to in this community, that this courthouse smells like weed every day, and the courtroom is bad. The hallway is worse. Now, thankfully, I have not been to the Milwaukee County Courthouse in a very, very long time. It is a dreadful place to be. You know why? It's a really sad place because it's nothing but poor people and people getting evicted and single moms with their kids who are about to get thrown out on the street. It's a really, really sad place to be. And so I can imagine the lingering odor of marijuana in that place, because a lot of times when people are there, like, they don't really have much else. And that's the thing. People often will ask, like, if there's a homeless person, and maybe I should be careful in comparing people to smoke marijuana all the time and in public to somebody that's homeless. If you give a homeless person $3, $4, $5 because you feel bad, you feel very sad for them, and then you get mad at them when they go buy a beer. What are they supposed to do with $2? Pay rent? sign a lease, pick themselves up by their bootstraps? No, they're going to get drunk. If you can get a beverage, a couple shooters for a couple little few dollars, I mean, that's the most fun you're probably going to have that day if you're homeless. And there are other folks, I'd imagine, they don't really have much else going on. You know, their lives are not exactly perfect. They got a lot of issues, a lot of problems. They're in trouble with the law. Hell, you might as well get high. Take a break, come back. Continue our little chit-chat about no shirt, no shoes, and no weed. Do not come in here smelling like weed. And I'm not even talking about a restaurant this time. I'm talking about the courthouse where people get sentenced to go to jail sometimes because they got caught with weed. How dumb is that? Imagine about to get your sentence for a marijuana charge and you come in there high as a giraffe's vagina. And that's high, by the way. That's very high. That's up in the sky. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finance After the Kumpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Prosperity says, as a hospice nurse, she would rather her patients go to a dispensary than medicate themselves on that than big pharma drugs that will cause them other problems. I totally get that prosperity, but that is someone who has like a diagnosed condition and they are consuming THC for its pain killing properties or what other medicinal properties they may have. They're not abusing it. That's different. Big difference. That's not somebody going to court smelling like weed or riding around in a vehicle, which is still operating under the influence. Like a lot of folks may not know that because it's so ubiquitous. It's so everywhere, and it's in the culture, it's in the music, and a lot of times if kids don't have boundaries, if someone is not telling them, an adult, hopefully their parent, their guardian, somebody saying, hey, this is not appropriate to do in public. This is something you do in the privacy of your own home, or if you know you don't have any responsibilities that day, then it's something you imbibe in. But if you have to do it to leave the house or to function, that's a whole nother issue. But something that bothers me, and I can't stand it, the older I get, the more upset I get by it. Parents who smoke weed with their kids, their teenage kids. You want to get high with your adult kids, by all means, toke up. But with your children? Oh, I got into it with this girl. Well, I shouldn't say she's a girl. She's in her 40s. She's got teenage kids. And she's like, well, they have jobs and they get decent grades. I don't mind if they smoke weed. Are you insane? Like, that is where, and this is a 40-year-old woman now. Well, she's probably 43 or 44 by now. I've also seen parents drink with their kids. I grew up pretty much in a teetotaling house. There was no alcohol in my house because my mother doesn't drink. My father drank on very, very rare occasions. Very, very rare. So there was no alcohol in my house. That was also a huge difference that I saw growing up in Brown Deer when I did between my house and the house I grew up in and my white friends' houses. So I spent a lot of time with my white friends. I'd be at their houses after school, whatever. And I remember this like it was yesterday. Their mother, their father would come home from work. First thing they do is go to a liquor cabinet. I'm thinking to myself, you have a whole like space, like designated like furniture with a door, and there's a little light in there, and there's glasses and an ice bucket and all of this alcohol. It was fascinating to me that I saw this growing up because I saw a lot of contrasts between my household, how I grew up, and how my white friends grew up. So the differences that I see between race are really, really specific. But alcohol was something that was really, really common. I'm sure there's black households where alcohol was common as well, but it was almost every single white household that I went to as a kid. Their parents had a liquor cabinet. Now, here's the other thing, how it benefited us, or maybe it did not. Maybe it was harmful for us because we grew up seeing these people drink. It was normal, just seeing, because it's an adult thing to do, because kids are going to model what adults do. And a lot of these parents, they're smoking weed in front of their kids, too. Some of these women are pregnant and smoking weed. That's a whole other conversation. But when we got a little bit older and those parents will go out of town, there's a liquor cabinet. And vodka was always the first because you could drink however much vodka. And we're kids, you don't need much to get drunk. But then you just fill it up with water. Just put water in the low. They couldn't tell. But a lot of it is modeling behavior, and I think it's harmful to us because black people have got to be very, very careful with our vices. There's something else that, I'm seeing all this stuff on the internet. I got to put the internet down. It's the etiquette that we have at restaurants and coming into really nice, fancy restaurants, smelling like marijuana and dressing any old kind of way. I like to go out, and it's a sense of occasion for me. It's entertainment for me. Sometimes I dress to the nines when I go to a fancy restaurant because that's a part of the occasion. And then the argument that I'll get in, because I'll see somebody that's in there, that they don't belong. You don't belong. There are places that you can go to all over this city that will absolutely cater to you. Hell, there's places in this city where they'll let you smoke weed inside the building. You understand? There's designated places for that, and they would love to have your business. The argument is for the people that defend what I'm going to call subpar black behavior. I don't care what white folks do because I have no control over them, zero. And even if I had control over them, I don't even know what I'd do with it. I just give it right back to them because they would be way too much responsibility. but I take the actions and the behavior of my people as my personal responsibility because this is not fair, but this is America now. And also, it's like an occupational hazard of living. You will be offended. You will get your feelings hurt. Nobody is immune to that, and nobody is above that. And we're going to have to bring that back into the world now because there are some people that think that they should never have their feelings hurt. They should never be offended ever. On what parallel universe is that even remotely realistic? You will be offended. You will get your feelings hurt. It is an occupational hazard of living and being in society. And if you don't want to get your feelings hurt or if you don't want somebody telling you the truth or telling you how you are, stay at home all the time. Become a hermit. But if I see someone in a fancy restaurant and they're not dressed according to the expectation of the prices, the argument is, well, Sherwin, if they have the money to be there, you shouldn't say nothing to them. Oh, yes, I will. Don't diminish our experience, somebody else's experience. I met up with some friends on, maybe Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Tuesday? Maybe Tuesday night. I don't go to this place very often. Y'all know where I go get my steaks, and I don't eat steaks that often, but when I eat a steak, I ain't going to Applebee's. I'm going to get me a steak. I go to Moe's when I get a steak. It's not cheap, but you're paying for the service, the quality of the food, the experience, the old white fella playing the piano softly in the background. I'm paying for all that. I'm paying for the servers to come out wearing shirts and ties, even though some of them are women. I want that. I want all my servers to look like lesbians. I got a female server wearing a whole suit. I love it. She's dressed up. I went to Carnivore on Milwaukee Street on Tuesday night. So meeting a group of friends there. And they are considerably more well-to-do than I am. And I know how well-to-do people, it's almost like it's an inverse relationship. People that aren't wealthy want to look wealthy. People that are wealthy want to look poor. It's weird. Because folks that don't have a lot of money will spend tons on high fashion and designer, and women, there's purses that cost $10,000. How does that, wouldn't you rather have a cheap purse with $10,000 of cash in the purse instead of having a $10,000 purse with just bubble gum in it? That don't make no kind of sense to me. Thank you, Zach. That don't make no sense to me. But it's like poor people want to look rich and rich people want to look poor. So when my more well-to-do friends invited me to join them to go to Carnivore, which I think I've only been to Carnivore one other time, and it was a really long time ago, like more than 10 years ago. As I'm putting on a suit. They were not going to be wearing suits. Sherwin is. You ain't going to catch me at a spot like that, not dressed to the nines. And also, if somebody sees me, oh, is that Sherwin Hughes? Look how he's dressed. He's dressed to the nines. Now they see me in there wearing some sagging blue jeans and like wearing something like I'm wearing right now. You know what I mean? I even took my hat off when I went in the Carnivore. But let me just go ahead and do a side note on Carnivore. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about them during the Milwaukee experience, exclusively on 101.7 The Truth, 11 a.m. on Friday. I don't think I'm talking about Carnivore this week, but I think next week we're going to be featuring food and restaurants again. That was the best filet I've ever had in my life. I took one bite and immediately started using profanity. So shout out to Omar, who's also the manager here, the owner here at the 3rd Street Market Hall. That also is his restaurant, Carnivore. Let me tell you something. I had that steak knife in my hand, and that steak was so good. I was like, I feel slightly homicidal. Like I'll stab somebody. If when I was eating that steak and I'll cut it in little pieces because I didn't want it to go away, I savored every bite. I'm thinking to myself, not only is this knife almost unnecessary because of how tender this 10-ounce filet is. Medium rare, of course. I was like, I also need to use this steak knife to defend if somebody tries to take it. Like, if you come and if somebody wanted to grab a piece of my steak, a thrusting motion with my steak knife, you see. But when I go out, it's a sense of occasion, and I just wish more people knew that and understood that just because you have the money to be in a place does not mean that you are fitting into the culture of that place. And sometimes I spend a lot of money to go to really nice places because I don't want to deal with no riffraff. And Milwaukee's got a lot of riffraff. And this is not relegated to one race. I see plenty of white riffraff. White riffraff is different because white riffraff will shoot the place up. Black riffraff will just complain about splitting the bill. You know what I mean? It's different. Annoying either way. Call me bougie all you want. I'd rather you call me bougie than the opposite. It's like when people send their kids to private schools. You pay all that extra money so that the undesirables are not next to your kids. And that's a horrible thing to say, but damn it, it's the truth. Every now and again when I step out, I want to do something fancy. I want to do something nice. Now, I work hard 5 days a week. Now, it's very difficult work I do. Every now and again, I want to go somewhere fancy, and I don't want to see the riffraff. Our good friend Tony Smith. I don't even know if Tony Smith even still works here, but Tony Smith, former NBA legend, and I guess current or former 1017 The Truth co-host, he posted on his Facebook, what are some of your hidden gems in Milwaukee? Tony, why would you do that? The whole point of having a hidden gem is so that certain people don't know the place exists. And these old knuckleheads, I go here and go here and go here. I learned my lesson. There's a particular restaurant I was so proud of many, many years ago. It was one of my hidden gems, but I loved it so very much, and it was black-owned. I talked about it on the radio. It was closed within 6 months. And sorry, it was my fault, too, because I told everybody. Everybody was up in there. Everybody and their mom. I said, I'm not going to do that no more, because sometimes I want to go places. I want the opposite of Cheers. Remember Cheers? Everybody knows your name. I want to go somewhere where they don't know who I am. I want to go somewhere where they don't know nothing about black radio. Because I got to be real careful because I say very offensive stuff. And if I am in an establishment or a restaurant where somebody in there that has access to my food was offended by what I say, because all the white folks that are racist think I'm racist. And if they, who is that over at table number 4? Is that freaking racist Sherwin Hughes that be on 1017 The Truth, even though every Friday at 11 a.m. he does the Milwaukee Experience? That freaking dude is freaking racist, man. I'm going to rub my testicles on his grilled cheese is what I'm going to do. I got to worry about that. What'd you say, Zach?
Pause.
Oh, just saying. I'm going to take a break, come back. I'm just going to complain all day today. They found roaches at a popular Third Ward dining establishment called the Wicked Hop. I was literally there last Tuesday eating chicken wings. And now... oh, my gosh. Oh, I ate so many wings. It could have been a roach foot, a roach neck, a little roach back, because wings are crispy. Like, that's extra. What is that? Crunch. What's the kind of flavor? Is that paprika? And also, I sent you those pictures, Zach. I went to I can't say it because I don't want to get sued. I'll talk about it on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Wednesday night, the Milwaukee Panthers wrap up their regular season schedule as they host conference foe, the Youngstown State Penguins, at Milwaukee Panthers Arena.
20 to shoot. Elam will. No on the 3 to the top. Ricochet. Dorceus. He'll take the 3 and he'll bury it.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
At Versity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving. You're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you experience an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a if I call your bleeding.
The song is about Papa Roach, and they found roaches at the Wicked Hop. And the roaches was dancing and banging their little roach heads to this. They were marching. Imagine a bunch of marching little roaches. That's not funny. It isn't. It's more common than you think, and it's very, very difficult to keep the little critters out of some of the establishments, wherever you have food. The grocery store that I go to the Metro Market on the 68th and State. That's where I shop. That's where I get my groceries at. I got the little Super Saver card. You put in your phone number and you save 9 cents on a grocery order of $385. Oh, put in your Savers card. Ooh, I'm going to save a whole bunch of money. You saved 8 cents today. They even have at the door little mouse traps, those little metal mouse traps. They have them there. It's common. I feel bad for the restaurants because there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. If you're near the river, if you're somewhere downtown, not just insects, but mice and rats. There was something that took place, and some of you may be familiar with this. So during the pandemic, there was, I don't want to call it an infestation, but talk to a person that does pest control. So during the pandemic when restaurants were closed, because there was a period of time where no restaurants were open, there was no customers going in any Milwaukee restaurants. So rodents feed off of restaurant waste. You know, at the end of the night when they're emptying the trash, and maybe a little bit of trash may fall and they go out to the dumpsters. Well, rodents would get into the dumpsters and that's how they would eat. But when there were no restaurants open during the pandemic, the mice and the rats moved into neighborhoods because remember, everybody was eating at home. And some of those mice and those rats got into people's houses because there was no food at the restaurants. That's the thing about rodents. They're going to eat. And also, if there's a nuclear war, so a couple of things is going to survive. Rats, mice, and roaches. So when they published this story about cockroaches at the Wicked Hop, which I typically wouldn't cover or something like this, but I was just there. I was there last week, Tuesday, just on a random humbug. I was meeting up with some people in the 3rd Ward to have a little discussion. We had our little discussion. We decided we were hungry. We went right across the way to the Wicked Hop. It's one thing to go to the Wicked Hop after this discovery because they're going to fumigate that place. It ain't going to be a roach within miles because it's very embarrassing for them. That's a very popular establishment. And then right next door, I think it's still called the Jackalope. Is the Jackalope is next door? There we go. Oh, the Jackalope used to be the spot. So we would do these Monday night boat cruises in the summertime. It's called Yacht Rock now, but it used to be a hip-hop DJ on these boat cruises for 2 hours, and then the after party would be at the Jackalope. Man, when I say it went down, it went down. So I'm very familiar with the Jackalope and the Wicked Hop. They're right there on Broadway in St. Paul. That would be the the southwest corner of Broadway in St. Paul, right across from the Public Market, the Tiki Bar over there. You guys know where that's at. So I was just there last Tuesday, and it's one thing to be at a restaurant that it has been found that they had roaches. So if you go when they reopen, and they're going to be inspected top to bottom, bottom to top, I assure you the Wicked Hop is going to be just fine. There's not going to be any roaches anywhere. They're going to clean that place up real good. They're going to fumigate it. They're going to do all the things. But going to the Wicked Hop, before they were closed, before the roaches were publicly discovered or discovered by the health department, that's a problem. Because when I went, they were still open and the roaches hadn't been discovered yet. There was a, we don't barely have time. You got time to put the picture up real quick, Zach? I went to another popular restaurant. This was some years ago. I almost want to save this story for hour 2 because I got to tell this whole story. But I don't necessarily freak out when I hear a restaurant has mice or has rats. What I find interesting, though, is every now and again, the stories go public. So City of Milwaukee health inspectors routinely check our restaurants, and they give them like safety ratings and cleanliness ratings. A lot of times, mice are found, feces is found from rodents, and it doesn't make the news. I don't know what it was about the Wicked Hop or this one made the news, but also think about this for a second. You know how many black-owned businesses and restaurants probably have rats and roaches too? And if that went public, how it would destroy black-owned restaurants and businesses? Because we already have a low opinion of them anyway. And then if we find out, that black-owned corned beef spot had rats, mice, and roaches, we would never go back there. So it's interesting that the Wicked Hop, this one went public. So I'm going to talk more about that during hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now. Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm crazy, but I love you 'cause you crazy too. Radio killer. Red light special, undress me under the candlelight. Turned up in this business, watch me do all of them things you like.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So they found some roaches at the Wicked Hop, which is a third ward eatery / bar right next to another popular establishment called the Jackalope Lounge. Some of you are familiar with those establishments. It is unfortunate, and it's also very common that little critters will sometimes make their way into restaurants. And it makes sense because there's food that gets discarded. Sometimes food falls on the floor, and that is a magnet for critters. And it's also really, really tough to completely seal a building from little critters getting inside, especially if that building is attached to another place. And people, customers, can bring critters in with them. So it's very, very hard. Whenever you have a place that is public facing, where people are in and out and there's food, it's very, very tough. So I had a real fancy evening planned. This is back when I was dating Cupcake. Some of y'all met Cupcake. That literally was, that's not her birth certificate name, but everybody knew it was Cupcake. Nobody knows her real name. Now I was with Cupcake for many, many years. Long, long time I dated Cupcake. And I had a special date planned, me and Cupcake. She might even be listening right now. Shout out to Cupcake. Her nickname is Cupcake because, my God, that's what she looked like. So, whew. Lord have mercy. Boy, I'm going to tell you, the first time I saw her, my kneecaps got hard.
Boing, boing, boing.
Amen. So I bought us tickets to go see Kenny G. We was going to have a fine evening of some sweet, sexy, soulful jazz. You know, the sounds of Kenny G. And we were going to go to a real nice downtown restaurant. Now, this was a few years ago.
He was performing in Milwaukee?
Yup. He was at the Pabst Theater. And Kenny G don't come here very often. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago. I think 2018. So I made reservations at a really nice restaurant. No, it wasn't Moe's. I wasn't going to Moe's yet. Or I didn't go that night. We went somewhere else. But I go places where I prefer to go places where I know the owner and I know the manager, because it just makes everything so much easier. I'm going to get the best server they have. I'm going to get the best seating. I'm going to get the best table. I just don't have anything to worry about when I go to an establishment where I know the ownership. It seriously, it is worth it. Get to know restaurant owners and restaurant managers, especially if you want to go to a real fancy one, because they make the experience that much better. And what I did at this particular place is I didn't call the restaurant to make my reservation. I called the owner. I was like, hey, man, got a special evening coming up. I'm coming into your spot to dine. He was like, oh, Sherwin, I got you. Take care of it. Everything was as planned. Our appetizers came out delicious. Our entrees came out, and this place is known for high-end steak as well. Everything was perfect. I had zero complaints. So we're about to finish the meal and head down to the Kenny G show. I think he was at the Pabst Theater. And I look on, there's a lamp on our table that provides the lighting. And what I saw when I looked up at the lamp, now remember, everything was fine. The food, the service, they call me by my name. Mr. Hughes, is everything okay? Mr. Hughes, would you like another drink? What about you, Cupcake? Would you like another espresso martini? No, I don't want another one. Cupcake was fine. I was fine. Everything was good. I was very happy. Now, you go to a nice restaurant, you get some real good food, get some good service. That just makes your whole evening go that much better. So we're about to leave. I had my jacket next to me. And as I'm looking over, about to grab my jacket, I look at the lamp that's on the table. On the lamp, crawling, was an American cockroach. Why is that? That's so disgusting. That's freaking me out. I'm actually getting goosebumps. If you go to YouTube, YouTube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth and hit subscribe. I took a picture because I'm freaking out. There's a roach on the lamp. I just ate all my food. That roach was bold. He was like, "Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all cool?" And so immediately when I saw the roach, I jumped up. And so our server is coming toward us to bring the bill because we're about to leave. I see the roach. I pull my camera because the roach is, I'm not touching the roach. What you want me to do? I'm not crushing. I'm not going to crush it. I'm not touching the roach. The roach it's chilling on the lamp. It's maxing and relaxing. It's a roach. I got the picture up right there. I took the picture. Look at that thing. It's tall. Look at the legs on it. How tall? It's a tall roach. Oh, Zach is zoom. Look. Oh, no. Oh, you're giving me flashbacks. Here's the worst part about that. So this is bad enough. And remember, I'm at a friend's place. How do I tell him? Because I know he going to call me and be like, Sherwin, how was it? How was your experience? What do you do? Do you lie? Or do you say, hey, man, my experience was good up until I saw a roach that was chilling on the lamp, and a roach wasn't scared. The roach looking at me, I'm looking at the roach. The roach is like, what you going to do? I was like, I'm not going to do nothing. So I get up. So I'm standing in the aisle now. And I felt froggy, and I had to leap. So I'm standing. I freak out. And then Cupcake, because she didn't see it, she's on the other side of the booth. She's like, dude, what's going on? I was like, look on the lamp! Now she screams, okay? There are people in this restaurant. It's a Friday night. We're about to go to a Kenny G concert. It's like 7:30, 8 o'clock at a popular high-end restaurant in the city of Milwaukee. It's a roach on the lamp, okay? The server is walking toward us. She sees that there's something wrong. I'm in the aisle. I want to grab my jacket because I was like, I don't want this motherfucker to fall in my coat, right? Because if you see the lamp right here on the YouTube, so the lamp is like at the corner of the table. So if the roach falls, so where the roach is right now, if the roach falls, it's going to fall on my coat, okay? The server is coming. I'm reaching for my jacket. I'm assuming that the server is going to arrive at our table in time to see the roach because I ain't paying for this meal. Ain't no way. Can I tell it by the time the server got to my table and I grabbed my jacket, the roach was gone. The roach fell. I don't know where the roach went. So now I'm in the aisle shaking my jacket. I'm shaking it. And I said, ma'am, everything was great, but we found a bug. I didn't say roach because people are looking at me. And I'm trying to like whisper it to her because I don't want to freak everybody else out. Because I assure you of this, y'all. If I'm out to eat at a restaurant and somebody in the booth next to me or behind me gets up and says there was a roach on my table, if I'm at a neighboring table, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. Ain't no way I'm not going to eat there. I'm not eating there. I'm going to want to leave immediately, even though I may not have seen the roach. If I hear somebody say, yeah, there was a roach on my table, so I say to the server, I kind of lean into it. Remember, I'm freaking out because the roach fell. I'm thinking the roach is in my jacket, so while I'm talking to the server, I'm shaking my coat. I look like I'm on crack. I'm like, oh, man, we saw an insect. I'm shaking in my jacket because I don't want the roach. I'm not trying to take the roach to go see Kenny G. I said, ma'am, there was an insect crawling on the lamp. And she was like, impossible. And I really wanted to show her in real time. But I showed her the picture instead. She was like, oh, yeah, that's correct. We still got the bill. Who's saying it's a beetle?
A lot of people.
Y'all are whole fools if you don't recognize that that's a roach. That is 100% an American cockroach. Now, there's different. There's brown cockroach. It's a whole bunch of different kinds. I know a roach. When I see one, that was a roachy roach. That was a roachy roach. Tell me that was so what? It's a beetle. What, is that better? What is a beetle, a pet? When you go and spend that kind of money at a restaurant, especially when you know the owner and you made your reservation through the owner, you don't want to see no insects nowhere. I don't care if it's a beetle, if it's an ant, if it's a honeybee, if it's a snake, if it's a scorpion, if it's somebody's pet monkey. I don't want to see anything but food. It's a beetle. Y'all over here gaslighting me, trying to tell me a roach ain't a roach. And guess what? Now, I ain't going to tell y'all what restaurant it is, and I hope it falls in your soup. It's just a beetle. So they gave us the bill. And the server was just like, here you go. So I was like, I'm going to handle it. We're going to get it taken care of, right? Here's where it got really weird. There's a way in which you can complain about things professionally, right? We get the bill. I pay the bill. Here's what hurt. I left a tip, a gratuity, because I'm in my friend's establishment. I know that he's going to check because he took care of me. He gave me the best server. I got the best seat. My food was fantastic. The service was good. And I know he's going to check to see. I'm expecting if I make a reservation through one of my friends instead of calling the actual restaurant, then my friend should see, well, I took care of Sherwin. I gave him good accommodation. How much this boy going to tip? So I was like, damn, I got to leave a tip. I'm thinking myself, the roach probably going to get a piece of the tip money. So I leave the tip, and I'm angry. I couldn't even really enjoy my evening because I wanted everything to be perfect. Fellas, you know how that is. I was with Cupcake now. You know, I wanted to impress her. And she was like, oh, Sherwin, it's not your fault. But she was really, really upset. But she didn't let it. She screamed, obviously, when she saw the roach. She was like, huh! She didn't scream, but she let out something that was audible. So she didn't say much because she knew that I was upset, so she didn't want to bring it up throughout the course of the evening. We went to Kenny G, or I'm watching Kenny G, and I really enjoyed the show. It was really good. But here's what's weird. You know how when you see a creepy crawly and like you feel like you get an itch or you get a tickle, just like randomly, because it's not uncommon. Oh, my back, I got a little itch on my back. I'm like, oh, it's the roach! It's the roach! It's back! It came with me to Kenny G. Because the roach might as well ride with me to Kenny G and join me for my meal and might as well hear some sweet, sultry saxophone sounds. So the whole night, I'm just like fidgety and like every little itch I thought, because the roach disappeared. It fell. It wasn't on the table, y'all. It wasn't at the bottom of the lamp. Cupcake didn't see it on her side, so it fell on my side because the lamp is on my side of the table. The lamp is not in the middle of the table. It's tilted toward where I'm at. It's right at the corner of the table, right by my right elbow. And it fell down. There you go. Zach brought it back up on the YouTube. So I was going to email the manager of the restaurant on Monday. I was like, I'm going to get this taken care of. I'm going to let them know what happened. Because I just didn't want to say anything then because other diners might have freaked out. Because I could have ruined somebody else's evening if I would have made a scene. Well, I kind of made one. But people didn't know why. They just thought I was a weird black guy, probably high on weed, I guess. And so I was going to send this email until I see that I got copied on the email. Cupcake sent the complaint email. Now, I probably didn't tell her that I had planned to send a very nice, tactful, professional email to the manager of the restaurant, and then I probably would have copied my friend who's the owner, but would have been real professional. I would have started with everything was wonderful. The food was good. The service was good. Appetizers were great. My steak was done to perfection. Oh, and by the way, I know there's not really a lot you guys can do. This happens in the restaurant industry. There was I was going to attach the picture, okay? Cupcake doesn't have any tact. So she wanted to express all of her frustration in the email that she did not express that night at the restaurant. She didn't give any compliments whatsoever because her food was good too. She enjoyed her food because if she didn't, she would have told me. She sends this email that is literally scathing. Now, remember, we finished our food. We're about to leave, and this is when we see the roach. She was like, I have never been so offended and disgusted in my life. What kind of establishment do you run? We spend a lot of money. And she said, we like she paid for it. We spent a lot of money, and there was a roach. Now, here's the other thing. She didn't even have the picture. So they don't even know if she's telling the truth because she didn't email or CC the waitress. The waitress knew. Our server knew that there was a roach. She sent it to every email address in the company. Everybody got the email. Anybody who had an email address listed on that restaurant's website got copied. And, of course, she copies me, too. I had an absolute fit. So here's what they did. They apologized profusely, and it was only the owner of the restaurant that responded, oh my God, Sherwin, I'm so sorry. You know that we try and run a very clean ship. I can't believe this happened. I know that probably ruined your experience. He said all of the right things, but I'm very furious at her. I'm so furious at her that I can't even say anything to her because she doesn't get it. She's like, yeah, Sherwin, I got him. I really let them have it. I'm like, you don't talk to people like that because I've known this dude for some years. Not only that, I know one of his business partners. One of his business partners is actually my guy. And so my guy was like, Sherwin, you should have just told me. I could have got it all taken care of. I was like, look, it was a lot going on that night. There was a roach on the table. I went to go see Kenny G. I felt like my back was itching. I thought the roach rode with me to Kenny G. It was just a lot going on. I just wanted to take care of it all on Monday, but Cupcake beat me to it. They gave me gift cards that were a little bit more than the entrees. I think I got $150 worth of gift cards. I guess I can admit this now. Y'all don't judge me for this. Don't judge me what I'm about to say. So they give me $150 in gift cards. And I was like, I'm not going to eat here again. Or not for a really, really, really long time, just because I don't want to, because I have a picture of what I experienced there, and I just don't want to go back. So they give me $150 worth of gift cards, and I'm like, this is pretty significant. So y'all have no idea how much I miss my father. Like, that was my dude. I'm literally half of my father, and I miss him every moment of every single day. But I said, Dad, guess what I got for you? I got $150 worth of gift cards for you and Mom if you want to go to... He was like, oh, son. Dad, I'm sorry. But hold on, though. He probably went, and it was fine because, they fumigated the place. And here's the thing. The health department was none the wiser. Had I gone to the health department with that roach picture, it would have made the news. It would have made the news. I remember my pop, he was like, oh, wow. In fact, you know what? I think I gave my parents, I almost said the name of the restaurant, those gift cards for Christmas. I was like, hey, you guys go. I love you guys so very much. Here you go. Oh, wow. I've always wanted to try this place. I'm like, yeah, you should. So that's... Can't believe I waited till my dad died to tell that story.
There's nothing wrong with regifting gift cards.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to go back. And I know that they clean the place up real good. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they probably... because they're not open for lunch. Well, no, if you fumigate, you got to be closed for probably a couple of days. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they didn't do anything at all. I don't know what they did, but that's how that story ended. I said all that to say this. From CBS 58, the Wicked Hop located in Milwaukee's popular 3rd Ward has been forced to temporarily close after the Milwaukee Health Department found cockroaches during an inspection. Quote, we've got pest control working on it, said Miles O'Neill, the co-owner of the Wicked Hop. We're cleaning the place up. According to a report from the Milwaukee Health Department, the order to cease operations was filed on Wednesday. The report says inspectors located several dead American cockroaches throughout the basement and food storage, single service storage, and the prep kitchen areas. A live cockroach was also found in the main kitchen on the 1st floor. According to the health department, the Wicked Hop must remedy these issues before they can reopen. This isn't a real uncommon issue in the restaurant industry, said O'Neill, though we've never had it happen in our 22-year history here. I'm going to take a break, come back. Do you guys have any experiences at restaurants where it was so disgusting, disturbing, and or abhorrent you could never go back? We'd love to hear from you at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in for Dr. Ken's Trivia, spotlighting powerful facts and moments you need to know. And Tori Lowe's Our Voices, Our Stories, amplifying the youth, perspectives, and lived experiences that define who we are. Celebrating Black excellence, celebrating our history. All month long on 1017 The Truth.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you experience an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. And 1017thetruth.com.
Unfortunately, a part of the Milwaukee experience may include some uninvited guests. It's a reason why I don't like to purchase plates from people that sell online. And the food may look really, really good. I know it's a hustle for a lot of people, and some folks can really, really cook. But you know what else is crazy? When we try somebody's food and it's really delicious, y'all know what we say as black folks. We're like, you really put your foot in it, right? Which, when you think about it, that's disgusting. But that's what we say to compliment somebody. And I bet you somebody might be like, you know what? I did put my foot in it. That's how I mashed these potatoes. As much as I want to support people and businesses and entrepreneurs, I can't, you guys. It's so hard for me, unless I've been to your house and I've seen your kitchen, because restaurants have laws they got to follow when it comes to cleanliness. I mean, laws. And they get inspected. Ain't nobody inspecting your home kitchen. And so that makes me a little nervous, because I've also had people reach out to me, hey, Sherwin, can you promote, I'm making, barbecue, or I'm making brisket, I got macaroni, I got collard greens, I got coleslaw, I got a bunch of sides, and the dinners are $15. Can you promote it on the radio? I can't do it, because if I promote something like that, and I really, really want to, and if I promote something like that, and if one of y'all find a toenail or a hair or a bug in somebody's food they made in their kitchen, y'all would never forgive me, because you wouldn't know about that person unless it wasn't from me promoting it, so it's very, very tough. But some people's kitchens are really, really bad. I really think there's two kinds of people in the world. There's very few people that are in the middle. Either you're super clean, you're like ADHD, like anally retentive about your cleanliness, or you are a slob. Let's talk to that one guy. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing okay, sir. What's on your mind?
I'm never going to go to Texas Roadhouse ever again.
What happened?
Never. So I went a few years back. I went there with a few people. Everybody gets their food. Everybody orders something. I ordered the easiest thing on the menu, a cheeseburger. Nothing too crazy, So everybody gets their food except for me. I'm waiting there. Everybody's eating. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Your food's coming up right away. Okay, that's fine. And never comes out. Everybody's done eating, by the way. Everybody's done eating. And then Finally, it comes out. You know what he brings me out? He brings me out a hamburger. A hamburger. And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I look at the hamburger, looks at me like I'm stupid. Hey, I said a cheeseburger. Oh, he says, stands there, doesn't move, stares at me some more. Can you get me some cheese? And takes a minute to come back, and can I get that? I'm never, just thinking about it boils my blood. I'm never going to go there again. But also, Sherwin.
Because they forgot, hold on, because they forgot the cheese? That don't sound.
Yeah, man. Come on, dude. He took forever to bring me that burger.
What's forever? Because sometimes if you real hungry, 8 minutes is forever. How long did it really take? 45 minutes? You ain't waiting no 45 minutes.
Everybody was done eating. Everybody was done eating.
Oh, okay.
That's how long you took.
All right, then. Which Texas Roadhouse? It's only one. It's the one that's out there in the West Bend, right?
Oh, this is one in Kenosha.
Oh. Okay, well, don't go back to Kenosha's Texas Roadhouse then, I guess. All right. Then. Well, that's your bad dining experience? Yeah. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to you at a restaurant?
Yeah.
What?
No,
oh, my God.
Yeah. The worst thing. Come on. It was such a simple order. It's granted, there's other things that happened, but this is like the easiest thing. And then how do you mess this up? Cheeseburger.
Yeah, I feel your pain, boy. I'm surprised you didn't shoot the place up. I would have been livid, too. I would have started breaking dishes, and I would have punched people in the face. I mean, you waited a long time to get that cheeseburger, and then when it came out, it didn't even have cheese on it. It just gave you a burger. I don't know how you still here right now, because I would have lost my mind. I would have jumped off a building. How dare you not get my cheese?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
So, when you saw the beetle, did you, inspect it, or did you just whip out your phone and assume it was a roach?
No, it was a roach. That was a roach.
When I see a bug, I've seen bugs on, near my food when I'm eating at some restaurants. Sometimes just a little tiny spider or a little tiny beetle, and I like to mess with them, kind of like poke at them. What are you doing?
Hold on, Playboy. You had a problem with your hamburger not being a cheeseburger, but you find bugs in your food and you play with them? Me and you is different. We real.
Well, they're nearby on the table. Just a little tiny spider or a little beetle, not a big deal. There's bugs everywhere. There's bugs in your food always, dude. Don't you know when they process your foods at these factories, whatever you call them, or bugs get in them, dude? It's like a fly or something. Or when you pick fresh fruit, there's fly eggs in it. That's why you get fruit flies.
Here's the difference. I don't see it. I don't see the bug. I don't see it. You know what? I don't know what happens to my food. I don't even know what they're doing to my food when they're bringing it out, because you're real vulnerable when you go to a restaurant. If you complain too much, if you're too rude and you're too disrespectful, I know firsthand what servers do to y'all's food. So you don't know. But the thing is, if I see it, if I see the bug, if I see the critter, if I see the rodent, then I got something to say about it. But if I don't see it, cool. You got away with it. You win.
I ended up not eating that cheeseburger because I assumed they probably spat on it. I just wanted to take it with me out of, satisfaction that I got it finally. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
All right. Thanks. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, then. Okay. Yeah, he's a little different. Yeah, I don't want to play with.
You make him nervous.
He makes me nervous. That's somebody you should never let make your food. If I see a little bug, bugs are everywhere. Bugs are good protein. No. There are some of us that treat service industry workers like they're beneath us. And there's a reason why I think some of us do that. So Milwaukee has got a history of, obviously, racial segregation. And so now more of us go out downtown than ever. There was a period of time, like in my formative years and in my early years of going out, it was stuff to do in neighborhoods. We went to the Empire Room out on 114th and Silver Spring. We went to Questions on 31st and North Avenue. We actually had night spots in the neighborhood. You never had to go downtown. And plus, they made it difficult to get downtown from the north side because 145 wrapped all the way downtown, and you got off on like Van Buren. So even when you got off the freeway, you were way out of the way. You got off by Victor's. So we didn't go downtown much. When they tore the freeway down, for those of you that are old enough to remember, that's what freed up all the land to build the Fiserv Forum. Because y'all remember, that was all freeway. That was a huge overpass. So when they tore that down, those 20-some acres sat vacant until they built the Fiserv Forum. So we didn't go downtown very much. But when they tore the freeway down, they had a plan to offer more downtown, everything from the streetcar to all of the dining, all of the restaurants. Jazz in the Park exploded because we weren't going downtown, but then also there was this trick that they played on us. There used to be incidents, of course, at neighborhood bars and clubs. Of course, people would get into fights and there'd be shootings every now and again, but the places wouldn't close. But once they tore down the freeway and they wanted all of that entertainment money to come downtown, if there was a fight or a disagreement or whatever that form is called, whenever a bar or a nightclub has to call the police, a SR, whatever they call it, whatever those reports are, they were now closing all of our black-owned establishments in the neighborhood, and they tore down the freeway. So now Fond du Lac turns into McKinley. You got a straight shot from the hood, from North Side, right to downtown. And so they wanted black people, if we were going to spend money on drinking and on, going out to eat, they wanted us to come downtown. So they systematically closed a lot of the spots we used to go to on the North Side. And this was a part of the urban plan. The problem is that happened in the early 2000s when we started coming downtown. We weren't hanging out downtown. We weren't on Water Street. In fact, there was nothing on Milwaukee Street. We sure enough wasn't going to Brady Street. When I said that black people did not go to Brady Street, you would think that you were in Cincinnati, Ohio. There was no black folks on Brady Street. Now we can't get enough of it for some damn reason. I remember when Brady Street was dope fiends. It was heroin needles all in the street. Oh, Brady Street used to be gross. But when they revitalized it, because they put all this money investment downtown, they wanted African Americans to come downtown and spend their money, but they wouldn't hire us. So we didn't work in the service industry. So we're not familiar with snotty customers, disrespectful people, getting talked to like we're not human. I see the way some of us talk to servers. Y'all got to stop that, because guess what they doing to your food? 32 people come out for a birthday, don't get there on time for the damn reservations. I need more ice. I need more ketchup. This ain't done enough. This is overcooked. We want separate checks. Don't do that. You are vulnerable when you go out to eat. You better treat them people with some respect, because guess what? A lot of times when they see a black table coming, they don't want it. They argue. Servers argue. I'm not taking that table. A very good friend of mine that owns a restaurant had to hire an inordinate amount of black servers because he's got more black clientele coming now. And he was like, Sherwin, even my black servers don't want to take the black tables. And he was like, I had to fire a bunch of my white waitresses because the stuff they would say about black diners coming out to eat, it makes me so upset. I'm going to take a break, come back. I'm going to stop complaining before y'all get mad at me. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finance Antetokounmpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. And 1017thetruth.com. 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, it's a lot going on in the world, ain't it? Etiquette is, in fact, education. Even what fork you use, your salad fork, your meal fork, all of that is education. And if no one teaches you, or if you don't have the desire to learn, you're not going to get it right. But also the way in which you carry yourself when you're out in public, let alone, let's say you go to a fine dining restaurant because you got a little bit of money, you got your tax returns, you want to flex a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But know that there is culture in the doors of the place that you choose. Now, I got to be real clear when I say this, because I'm a lover of all things Milwaukee, and I have seen this city absolutely explode when it comes to travel and tourism and our nightlife offerings. Some have come and gone. Our bars, our restaurants, our lounges, like there's a lot of stuff to do here. I find it hard to go on vacation because there's so much I can do just in the city of Milwaukee. And like I'd go to another city and do the exact same things I'd be doing here, except in the other city, I don't know the people. I don't know the owner of the restaurant, and I got to stay in a hotel room, or I'm staying in an Airbnb, where if I'm in Milwaukee, I can have just as much fun, spend several $1,000s less, because if you do these same things out of town, you got airfare, right? You got all the other things that you buy when you're out of town. Going out of town is expensive. I can do all the same stuff here and be home in 15 minutes. It's about, and this is the hard part, because we as black people feel very entitled to always be who we are all of the time, which, whatever, I'm not trying to talk you out of being who you are. But when you go to certain establishments that you don't go to every single day, you want to act a fool, go to McDonald's, go to Burger King, go to Dairy Queen, act a whole fool. Do whatever you need to do. Go to Applebee's, go to Sizzler, go to Chili's and act up and cut up if you want to and complain about the $1.99 margarita. Do whatever you got to do. But when you're going to a place that is intentionally sophisticated, you are walking into their culture. I know it's your money, but your money is paying to walk into a culture that is unique, that is different, that is sophisticated. Don't bring your culture in there. You are there to absorb the culture of that restaurant. And if you can't do that, don't go. But also, it shows me that nobody taught these folk. You ain't got to act up and be disrespectful to the waitress. And also, they're going to get their revenge because they know you ain't going to tip. They already know that. They've seen us coming a mile away. I just want us to have a better understanding. And I'm not necessarily relegating this to a race. I mean, kind of. Because we represent each other. And so there'll be a monstrous table. And I've seen it at Moe's is the worst. It is. I've just seen us act a whole fool at Moe's. Somebody having a birthday. You know, the ones with the baby hair and the gigantic eyelashes. It's her birthday. She want everybody to know it. They even got her a birthday cake. She started twerking. Moe's is a really sophisticated place. She's twerking, y'all. I'm like, why is this happening? Just, yep. So embarrassing. And so the servers, they get hell from us because we think we own them. And if anything is messed up, we yelling at the server, being disrespectful to them, giving them an attitude. And if they, because people get defensive, because you can only take so much. Do you know how hard it is to wait on tables? Do you have any idea? A lot of us don't know because we've never done it. But I've known many, many people my whole life that have worked in the service industry. It is a nightmare. Dealing with hungry and or drunk people that are also naturally disrespectful is a nightmare. And then for them not to leave a tip, because you want to give everybody the best service. But sometimes you can catch a server, a waiter, or a hostess, they having a bad night. And then you make it even worse by acting a fool. And you may not know it because they're so professional in how they deliver their service. And then if they happen to say anything or if they respond, we call them racist. We got to chill with that. That's why nobody believes us when we actually say things are racist, because it's a defense mechanism that we use. Or maybe it's how we go on offense. That's probably a better description, because if we call a white person racist, then they get defensive and they back off. It is possible that we sometimes act like jerks and then people respond to us like we're acting like a jerk. It's not always them being racist. And so let's say this happens, and this has happened before, where there's a table of us. We act a fool, don't leave a tip, want to split the bill. There's always, all I got was some chicken finger. You're splitting the bill, or stay home. You're splitting the bill. You decided to go out for somebody's birthday. Listen, I know that you only got the chicken fingers, but guess what? You probably should have ordered a damn steak, because you're going to be paying for somebody else's steak. Everybody gets steak. Don't nobody get chicken fingers and just get a salad and say, here's my $7. Spill is $492, and there's 10 of us. Your share is $60. But I'll never go out to eat with you ever again. So then there's that table of nightmare people. A lady twerking when her birthday cake comes out. But these are also people that go out for bottle service, and they got sparklers on the bottle. I remember when bottle service was rare, it was unique, and it was sophisticated. Now it's a whole production. You got women wearing G-strings coming out, bringing your damn bottle. Zach is doing the dance. They got a bottle in each hand. They got some damn sparklers.
And a sign.
Got a sign. Everybody wants attention. Back in the day, bottle service, because the server would bring that bottle out. That was the attention, just the bottle being walked to your section. You didn't need sparklers. I'm so mad at nightlife culture sometimes because people don't even dance anymore. They don't even interact. They just stand in their damn section, take a bunch of pictures, post them on Instagram, and call that a good time. You just spent $2,000. You and your friends spent $2,000 on that section. And I'm going to tell you what, that bar is ripping you off. But you go out to eat and spend $400 or $500, you want to leave a tip? That's wild to me. And so then I come in after this table of nightmares, and now the server is even more fed up, and they see me come in there, and now they treat me like garbage too. Because they're going to expect that I'm going to act just like that previous table. It's so frustrating. Let's talk to Lisa. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good. How are you, Sherwin?
I'm doing all right.
I must say, I have never had bad service. I can say that. And I'm a good tipper. I believe I'm a good tipper. I do tip. And even more, if you just come, settle, you get my stuff on time, and, if I need you, you're there, you're around. But I have been to fine dining. I have went in there with my rolling suitcase, my backpack on my back, and I remember the one that I had paid the most money. Now, I don't look at prices. I get what I want, period. I don't look at prices. But, I got my appetizer, my entree, and I don't do dessert. But that bill came out to be $176.
For just you?
Paid the bill. Just me.
Where'd you go?
I paid the bill.
That wasn't in Milwaukee, was it?
No, that was in California, somewhere off of like Pier 30, at the very end where the boat is, and the big boat, the Navy boat, and then they have all those. They have some little side restaurants, but I wanted to sit down to have an Italian meal with seafood and everything. So I paid the bill. They set me right by pretty much the window where I could see all the water. It was a beautiful view. My waitress that sat me there, she was great. My waiter was awesome. So didn't have no problem with them. And I wasn't even dressed right. And the different restaurants I traveled to, went around. I always, whatever. Sometimes I drop my stuff off at the airport and go back and whatever. But I have always had good waiters and great waitresses, and I would tip well. People start tipping, $20, whatever it may be. I remember me and my girlfriend went to Red Lobster, and we were the last ones there, and she let us in. And I said, you know what, I'm going to tip you well. A meal came out, I tipped her $30. And my friend, I don't know how much she tipped her, but I tipped her $30. I think she tried to match my $30. I don't know. But I tipped her well. I said, thank you very much. And she served us well. Everything, the rest area was good and everything. But black people, look, I don't know what they see. I have a lot of white waitresses and, waiters. I don't know. They have treated me well. I have black ones that have treated me well. I don't tip them in the beginning. I tip them afterwards.
Lisa, you also don't go out in Milwaukee, and I think that your national experience is very different. We talk about localized experience here, and you admitted, you said there's nothing to do in Milwaukee. If you went out more in Milwaukee, I think the likelihood that you would get some bad service is probably higher.
Well, you know what, Sherwin? I'm listening to the places you're talking about, and when I get my new leg, now they're working on my leg.
You've been waiting on that leg for 3 years. Leg ain't coming.
Well, I got the leg, but it was too big. So now they had to do it. I had to get a new protrusive. They said it sound like the name of what they are is
prosthetic or prosthesis.
Whatever.
Prosthetic leg.
So I had to get a new, not the leg, the doctor that does it. So I had to get a new one of those, which started in January, and then I had to go to the Mayo Clinic in February. I mean, come on now. So I should have it be finalized by March 11th. So I'm looking to get up, move around. I have to, because sitting here, my brain ain't working no more. But I'm going back to school anyway for AI. And so y'all better catch up with these young kids.
Better catch up to.
Yeah, you better catch up with. Yeah, I got to stay active. My brain has to stay active. I got to stay active, and I'm going to get out and do things and be in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be more in my community. Yeah, they know me on the neighborhood, but they got to know me on the next few blocks. The new ones got to know me.
Well, Lisa, let us know when you get your leg, and because we want to be out there with you when you put that leg on.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a thing. Okay. All right, Sherwin.
All right, then.
You have a great weekend, okay?
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Stop playing.
Yeah, stop playing.
I hate going to freighter and the valet, and I ain't got no money because I don't get no money at the bank. I'm used to hearing, money on me. So I didn't have no money, and I hate not tipping them, and they helped me so much. Thank you, freighter valet workers. I appreciate you, and I will start carrying money from now on. When I remember to go to the bank.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
All right, now.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you, too, now. Lisa says she's ready when she get that leg. All right, then. He said, hold on, y'all. Let me put my leg on now. Hold on. There it is. Got my leg. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This Black History Month, 1017 The Truth, opening up the mic to Milwaukee's youth, young boys and girls sharing what Black history means to them in their own words. I'll be reading and sharing your submissions with the 1017 The Truth audience all month long. Our voices, our stories. If you know a young person with something to say, share their message on social media, tag at ToryLow_King or 1017 The Truth. Let's amplify their stories together.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you're so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The road to the championship ends here. The best of the best. The City Championship Gold Division. One game, one title, one team raising the trophy. After a season of battles, buzzer beaters, and unforgettable moments, it all comes down to this. Who's built for the pressure? Who's ready to make history? Listen live on 101.7 The Truth and on the Truth app. Your home for City Championship basketball.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Yeah. See, me and Timberland, we got the hits from here to overseas with SWB. Check it one time. See, me, I'm super fly.
We asked a question via YouTube, like we always do. Should businesses refuse service for marijuana odor? And 67% of you say yes. We're not going to get into the racial component of it because why should there be one? We're not even talking about a race. There's an inference of race. And so why are we as black people assuming that they're talking about us? Why are we connected with that? I don't want to be associated with marijuana odor because if somebody smells like marijuana, they're probably not a good employee. They're probably irresponsible. If you're out in public and you want the world to know, if you don't care, that's hygiene to me. People don't look at it like that. Like, oh, sure, when I'm clean, I took a shower. You smell like skunk, bro. What happened to smelling like Dracar or smelling like Jupe or smelling like Cool Water? You want to smell like weed cologne? Come on, player. Stop that. Ain't nothing sexy about that. One of the best things about a woman, second best thing about a woman, is how she smells. You ever hug a woman and she got that perfume on and you go insane. You never forget how certain women smell, that perfume they wear. If a woman smells like marijuana, I would be repulsed. Yuck. There is no amount of fine, this is me now, y'all are different, that can make up for smelling odorous or smelling of marijuana. Are y'all turned on by that? Do y'all smell like, fellas, be honest, when you smell a woman and she smells like skunk weed, some of that marijuana smells like cat urine. I'm like, oh, damn, baby, you smell good. Where you get that from? Let me smoke some of that. That's gross. If somebody is high and they want the world to know it, you could be a liability for that business, but we don't think about that. You could slip and fall. Your depth perception is messed up. Right? Your personality might be altered. And if a business doesn't want to deal with that, or if it's more about other paying customers. Because if a business wouldn't lose any customers, they probably wouldn't care, because a bunch of y'all go to restaurants and go out in the world smelling like weed. Nobody says anything. But if a paying customer is like, hey, I don't want to come back here because there's a number of people that smell odorous in this establishment, because isn't that a reason to go back? There was a Mexican restaurant that I went to not that long ago, and it didn't smell like Mexican food. It smelled disgusting. I never went back. So noses are sensitive. And you got to keep that in mind. Some people are very, very sensitive to smells. I know sometimes pregnant women, they get really, their noses get real sensitive and certain smells make them sick. And what if somebody is, that sensitive to those kinds of smells and they don't want to go back to a restaurant or to an establishment where the people that go there are smelling of the wacky tobacco? Statewide law, marijuana and THC. Under Wisconsin state law, all marijuana-derived THC remains illegal. Possession of any amount of marijuana, first offense up to 6 months in jail or up to a $1,000 fine. Second offense is a felony, punishable by up to 3.5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Just knowing that, why do you want to smell like it? Cultivation, sale, distribution, felony offenses at all levels. Wisconsin still classifies marijuana as a Schedule I controlled substance. No recognized medical use and high abuse potential. Hemp-derived THC products, the Delta 8, the Delta 9, Delta 10, THCO, etc., due to the 2018 federal Farm Bill loophole. Hemp-derived THC products remain legal in Wisconsin if derived from hemp, contain 0.3% Delta 9 THC by dry weight. This allows the legal retail sale of Delta 8 THC, hemp-derived Delta 9 edibles, THC beverages, gummies, vapes, and tinctures. You can get THC beverages at probably 85% of the bars downtown. And a lot of people think like, oh, this is cool. I don't want to drink alcohol, because a lot of folks are looking for mocktails. A lot of people, the younger generation, they're not drinking all that much. And so a lot of bars offer these THC beverages. Please be careful if you've never had a THC beverage and you want to try it, because they taste like sweet soda. Ooh, they taste like soda pop. Ooh, they taste so good. I was out with somebody who wanted to try one. She was like, ooh, this is delicious. I said, slow down, that's 10 milligrams. 10 milligrams ain't a lot. She got another one. I almost had to carry her out of there. Be careful, everybody. So if you're going to ingest the THC because you need to be high, don't smell like it. Get you some gummies, get you one of them THC drinks, or do something else. But smelling like it is just, it's embarrassing and it's disrespectful. I'm going to take a break, come back, and we're going to do the Milwaukee experience. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back shortly.
Stay off the weed.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
I was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with the today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and it's Friday. You know what that means. This is the Milwaukee Experience. It's where we talk about all of the wonderful treasures that our city has to offer, especially on the social, the nightlife, and the dining scene. You know, we are a town that punches way above its weight when it comes to attractions, and we want to focus on some of those incredible things to do to give cities like ours credit where credit is due. Let me begin by telling you about a very special event that is taking place on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Our friends over at Visit Milwaukee are having a bit of a party. It is their 2026 annual meeting. Please save the date, ladies and gentlemen, for March 3rd, 2026 for the 2026 Visit Milwaukee annual meeting at the Bradley Symphony Center, literally right across the street from us here at the 3rd Street Market Hall on West Wisconsin Avenue. Please join us as we celebrate our collective wins from the past year and look forward to the future of tourism in Milwaukee. Multiple sponsorship opportunities will be available, and tickets for the event will go on sale very soon. For more information, go to visitmilwaukee.org. and you'll be able to grab your tickets for the incredible 2026 annual event. So this is a particularly important year for the city of Milwaukee in travel and tourism. And also I want to focus on a neighborhood. Neighborhood is Bronzeville. We're going to talk about Bronzeville in a second. But in that theme of Bronzeville once being the national hub for African American music and entertainment, and some of the greats like Cab Calloway and Nat King Cole have all come to Milwaukee and have performed in Bronzeville. In the last probably 25 or 30 years, there's been a really big, major resurgence of bringing Bronzeville back to its former glory. And I give a tremendous amount of credit to not just the Department of City Development and Lafayette Crump, but also Alderwoman Malele Cox, who has made it a primary focus of her tenure on the Common Council to bring Bronzeville back to its former glory. But in the theme of African-American owned spaces and places, we're really fortunate in Milwaukee because in the fall, in October of this year, the Black Travel Summit will be here. Now, some of you may not be familiar with the Black Travel Summit, but those of you that are know exactly how big of a deal this actually is. The Black Travel Summit is a group of content creators that have millions of followers on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. And they are younger millennials, Gen Z, and maybe even some Gen Alpha folk, and they travel literally all over the world. And they thoroughly document their experiences being young African-American travelers, and they're honest in their reviews, and they tell you where we can go, where we can't go, how we are treated, the levels of respect we get, etc. To give you guys a perspective of how big of a deal this is, in 2025, the Black Travel Summit was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. In 2026, they are coming to the city of Milwaukee. There is an opportunity for us, and obviously as the time grows nearer and we start moving through the summer and into the fall, I'm going to be featuring a lot of the individuals from the Black Travel Summit on my show and let them talk about their experiences and their travels. But here's why I'm so curious and so fascinated. They go all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. They travel to Portugal, and they go to Europe, and they go to sub-Saharan Africa, and they go to Asia, all over the place. Some of the biggest tourist attractions on the planet. This year, they're coming to our city. And I want to make sure that when they are here, they are getting the best of what we have to offer. But I'm also really super curious about how does an outsider view the city of Milwaukee? For those that have even heard of it, because we're not a huge city, and most people, when you tell them you're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, especially if you have a lot of melanin in your skin, first thing they ask is, wait a minute, there's black people in Milwaukee? We get that a lot. And so the fact that the Black Travel Summit is coming here is going to do so much, hopefully positive, for our name and the recognition that I think that Milwaukee deserves. So if you're thinking about starting that restaurant or that tourist attraction, starting it before October, by the time the Black Travel Summit gets here, I think that would be a really good idea. Milwaukee's Bronzeville neighborhood is bordered by North Avenue on the north, State Street on the south, and 3rd Street on the east, and 12th Street on the west, with Walnut Street historically the economic hub of the neighborhood. The name Bronzeville is in fact a generic term given to the area of the city in which the majority of the population was African American or people of African descent. Between 1910 and 1950, many of these African American communities emerged in northern cities. Northern employment opportunities, Southern segregation, and Jim Crow all prompted the Great Northern Migration from the South. Confined to specific neighborhoods in most northern and Midwestern cities, these areas were referred to as the Black Metropolis, the Black Belt, or more commonly, Bronzeville. And we actually have a video that was put together by one of our genius interns that does a bit of a deeper dive into Bronzeville. We're going to play that on the YouTube right about
Welcome to the series dedicated to Black history in Milwaukee, which too often goes untold. Today's episode, Bronzeville. During the Great Migration, African Americans moved up north to escape Jim Crow laws. Because of discriminatory housing policies, black residents were pushed to Milwaukee's north side, where Bronzeville emerged. By the 40s and 50s, Bronzeville was a cultural and economic hub. Jazz clubs hosted legends like Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday, and Duke Ellington. Despite segregation, black-owned businesses thrived. Much of Bronzeville was lost in the 60s and 70s due to urban renewal projects that essentially deconstructed Bronzeville and placed I-43 smack through the heart of it. Despite past deconstruction, Bronzeville has seen meaningful revitalization efforts marked by America's Black Holocaust Museum, which has landed Milwaukee on New York Times' 52 places to go list. You'll find a thriving avenue of black-owned businesses such as Honeybee Sage Apothecary and Wellness Cafe, G's Clippers, and many more. Bronzeville remains a symbol of cultural pride and resilience in Milwaukee. Step out and visit it for yourself, and come back next Friday for more Black History and MKE.
That was perfect. The ending of Black History Month, and of course a feature from one of our interns. I think her name is Kenneth. She's a very nice lady. She's very nice.
Job.
She did. I never met her, but she's very nice. Bird Songs is an establishment that is in the Bronzeville neighborhood. It's a scent store that's been around since 2004. They have literally hundreds of essential oils that can be made into rollerball fragrances or lotions. There's all sorts of wonderful things that you can enjoy there at Bird Songs, the scent store, one of the many offerings in Bronzeville. And, of course, there's the Bronzeville Center for the Arts, which is new to the area and very exciting. Inside is Gallery 507, which is made up of a huge gallery and artist maker spaces where you can shop for gifts from local artisans. When the center helps put on the Bronzeville Art Walk each summer, it is a veritable party. The beautiful mural on the inside of the niche book bar is always a beautiful part of the event. And of course, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not gone, America's Black Holocaust Museum, which in the last several years has relocated from its original location, still in Bronzeville on 4th Street, to right now on North Avenue, another place that does a lot for our community. Of course, the Black Holocaust Museum. You don't want to just breeze through. It's a place in which you can be present. You can educate yourself, take your time in the galleries and read about the history of the Black experience in Milwaukee. They have guided tours if you want to go further in depth. I personally will be looking to bring the Black Travel Summit to the Black Holocaust Museum because I want them to come away with a couple of things about our city. The progress that we have made in a town that did not have a healthy amount of respect for the African diaspora needs to be highlighted and showcased. Also, when the Black Travel Summit comes to Milwaukee, they're going to see some things that are real, true, and authentic Milwaukee. There are some neighborhoods that still need a tremendous amount of investment, but that is a part of our story as well. So I'm very much looking forward to being a part of the Black Travel Summit. And if you want more information about them, you can look them up online and see some of the content that they create about some of the spaces and places and locations that they have traveled to. But we are exceptionally fortunate to have the Black Travel Summit coming to the city of Milwaukee this summer. Again, make sure you grab your tickets for the Visit Milwaukee's 2026 annual meeting. For more information about that, go to visitmilwaukee.org. I'm going to give a list of the sponsors. The event host, of course, the Milwaukee Symphony Center, Molson Coors, the Milwaukee Business Journal, Events by Design, the Wisconsin Center District, our friends at Associated Bank, Bars and Rec, the Brewers Community Foundation, Discover North Shore, Event Essentials, MKE Downtown, Map King, Mandel, Quarles and Brady, and Milwaukee Magazine, along with many others. And if you attend, you'll be able to vote and give your recommendations for the Dear MKE Award. They recognize a local Milwaukee person or small business that has captured local fans' affection and drew national media attention to Milwaukee in 2025. Also, they're going to be taking nominations for the Joe Bartolotta Hospitality Awards at the 2026 annual meeting of Visit Milwaukee. They're going to honor, with the Joe Bartolotta Hospitality Award, they're going to honor an individual in the hospitality industry in our city who demonstrated exemplary commitment and passion for Milwaukee and its residents through community uplifting initiatives in 2025. Many different people come to mind for that. And of course, the most prestigious, the Heart of Milwaukee Award, celebrates a frontline worker nominated by their employer who went above and beyond to welcome visitors to our fair city in 2025. So that is going to be on Tuesday, March 3rd at the Bradley Symphony Center, the 2026 annual meeting of Visit Milwaukee. And of course, this has been the Milwaukee Experience, presented and sponsored by our friends over at Visit Milwaukee. For more information about them, go to visitmilwaukee.org. I'm going to take a break, come back, and oh, look, we have someone who I know knows a lot about all the travel and tourism, not just in Milwaukee, but across the world. We're going to talk to that very famous person on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley? This is she. Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now. The road to the championship ends here. The best of the best, the City Championship Gold Division. One game, one title, one team raising the trophy. After a season of battles, buzzer beaters, and unforgettable moments, it all comes down to this. Who's built for the pressure? Who's ready to make history? Listen live on 1017 The Truth and on the Truth app, your home for City Championship basketball.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finance Antetokounmpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
My jazz album, Blue Mist, which we are hearing a track from right now, this one is called One More Time. Oh, and Blue Mist is available literally everywhere. On the iTunes and the iMusics and the Spotifys, and it's got its own YouTube channel. Go and listen to the album. You'll love it so very much. It's such a masterpiece. I can't even make another album. I can't follow this up. It's perfect. It's going to go down as a classic. Let's talk to another classic. Hello.
Hello, Sherwin. You know that introduction is way too much for
I know
me.
it was. It was way too much. It was a lie. I lied. All of it was made up. None of it was true.
And you gave a whole lot during the past 15 minutes. You're going to have to say some of that stuff again for me to absorb. That's a lot of stuff you said.
Bob, that's when you go to 1017thetruth.com, or you download the free 1017 The Truth app, or you go to YouTube, search 1017 The Truth, and you can replay everything I said. You can replay it. Just because you missed it don't mean that you never hear it again. There's a whole bunch of ways to listen back at our shows.
Yeah, I could do that. I just called to say I used to go out to eat, and I just would tip $1 and some change. And your show got me more observant in tipping. I mean, I be careful what I tip now, because everywhere I went, $1 and some change, $1 and some change.
Bob,
I didn't know
Bob, hold on. Stop for a second. Let's say you and a lady friend go out. Let's say you go to lunch, and you go and buy the lunch because you're a gentleman. And the lunch costs $55 for your food and for her food, and she might want to get a little dessert. And you say, go on and get you a dessert. And she get her a dessert. And the bill comes and it's $55. And the service was excellent. The server was very nice to you. They took care of you. They were very attentive. They were polite. Your bill comes, it's $55. How much are you tipping on that $55?
No, the 55, I'd do $20. I know now. I didn't know they didn't like.
Bob, stop lying to us. So a second ago, you said you tip $1.50. Okay, that's what you would usually tip. But now you get a bill that's $55. You tipping $20. Okay, let's say you go to a nicer place for dinner. You really want to impress this woman because you want her to be your stay-at-home nurse, and you have a dinner with her. It's $100, Bob. You got your entree. She got her entree. Y'all might have had chicken wings, appetizers. You might have got 2 desserts. And that bill was $100. How much you tipping on $100, Bob?
$35 or $30.
You tipping $20 on. You need to stop handling your money, boss. If you tipping $20 on 55 and 35 on 100, why don't you just do a standard 20%?
Standard 20%?
Yes. Bob, do you know how to calculate 20%? If I asked you what 20% of 100 is, if you get a $100 bill and you're going to tip 20%, how much is that? Just guess.
Oh, that's $20.
Oh, okay. There you go.
$20.
There it is. So on that 55, you should be tipping 11.
At 55, okay. Oh, okay. I'm learning about tipping, you know what I mean? And I'm glad you don't like traveling. I don't either, traveling because you can do everything.
Bob, hang on a second. Let me address something real quick. How old are you?
Well, I'm old, 73. Okay. I'm old. Yeah.
You're 73 years old and you're just learning about tipping now. So what was you doing in the 70s? Like, what were you tipping in the 80s and the 90s?
$1 and some change. I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't know they didn't like waiting on black people, I mean, until I started listening to your show and you start saying about tipping. And I said, oh, let me give what, I don't know what that, but then they got places that put the tip into the food. I don't know if that's 20% or 30%. I don't know.
They add it to the bill. Usually it's larger parties because people are not tipping. When you're tipping, you're not just paying the server. Because a lot of times they split tips. Somebody is refilling your glass. Somebody is bringing you your food. Somebody is giving you silverware. They're setting the stage for you. They're creating an atmosphere. You are tipping for that. And also, when you go out to a restaurant, you ain't got to cook. You ain't messing up your kitchen. You ain't got to do no dishes. Somebody else is doing that. So when you go out to a restaurant, you were paying for all of those additional services that you were leaving somebody else to do. Because if you do it at home, right, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of labor. So the tip is for all of the people that help create that experience. And what I say to folks is going out to eat is entertainment. It is not nutrition. When you go out to eat, it's because you want to have an experience. Your tip is to pay for the experience. And if the places you're going to doesn't have a worthy experience, then don't go there. Go to Burger King or McDonald's where no tip is expected. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not the time to tear you up, so I better let you go right now. I appreciate it and talk to you later because, it's not the time to tear you up. I got to be careful, and I will talk to you later, sir.
Some days he knows how to hang up. Some days he doesn't. Al, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good. For those people who choose not to tip, they can just keep their ignorant ass at home.
But they won't.
That'll do everybody a favor.
They ain't going to stay. Not only not going to stay home, they're going to act a fool when they go out.
Well, then, if they're going to act a fool, maybe they can move to Fond du Lac or Oshkosh or go up there to Wausau. They'll fit in just fine up there. And they can do all that nonsense. But you know what? It is not a race thing. And I would ask you not to bite your lip. Because I feel like there is a standard and a culture that has been lowered within our community. And they feel when it comes to that ignorant bull sugar honey iced tea, it's okay. And it's not okay. And furthermore, when it comes to the weed smoking, I had somebody come to my house one time and I ran a bathtub of hot water. It was nice. It was hot. I put a bar of ivory soap in there and had them soak. Let me tell you, did you know when they got out that tub, they still smell like Dookie Blaster. They armpit still was musty. Do you know when you smoke that stuff, it gets into your pores? It was so deep in their pores, I didn't even really want to blow it out. Even though I held my nose and closed my eyes. But there has to be some type of standard when it comes to some of our people. And let's be honest, and this is not talking about black people because I love my black people. It's the other kind. Y'all do too goddamn much. And we shouldn't even be having this discussion. And when you do that, and these people you say who was racist, they're using that personality you feel that's okay, that's not okay, to tear down your community. That's why we got these baby casket potholes up in our neighborhoods. That's why they taken away, because the integrity and the character on how some of these people act. They say, well, hey, they don't give a F anyway, so why should we give a F? Snatch the resources. And we got to change that. It's not okay to say it's hood. You didn't come from a hood. Your mother's vagina is not a hood. So you got to have some class, some substance, and some elegance. Because if you don't, you should gladly go move somewhere else. Matter of fact, some of us will help you pack. Okay? They got Section 8, they got low-income housing. The job market is real good up in Oshkosh, and y'all can go up there to Shawano, Wisconsin. Or Warsaw. Y'all can get a whole lot of house for a little nut. Or y'all can go down to Rockford or Beloit. And y'all can do all that ignorant-ass bull sugar honey iced tea. And then the people can continue to live in peace and harmony. And before I go, Curly! Q! Happy birthday, sister! And I want y'all to have yourself a good weekend and just do everything you can because it's going to be hot today. So I want y'all to be hot tonight when y'all get out there. And there you go. And everything you big enough to do now, make sure you bring a towel, a bar of soap, keep you some bottled water, so just in case while you moving in the shadows, you can pull over and kind of freshen up and keep it going. And get your 2 buzz balls. But don't drink the second buzz ball while you're driving because you'll get to weaving, and I don't want you to hit nothing, and I don't want you blowing in no blow tube. But if you got a friend in the car and he's not really an inebriator, he can blow into the blow tube to get your car started so y'all can get home because you're already paying SI-22 insurance. So I just want y'all to have a good weekend. And, hey, make a couple of babies and make a couple of deposits, and also take a shower. Bye-bye. One law, one rule, one standard.
That was a lot. Bob had called before Al, and Bob said that I gave a lot of information in a short amount of time. Al did too. So he's talking about the blow tube is the breath-activated ignition interlock system. So take someone with you that can start your car for you because you're on SR22 insurance, and I'll make sure you have a bottled water and 2 buzz balls, but don't drink the second one. Don't do that. And then he also said make a deposit. And he was not talking about with our partners at Associated Bank. Let's talk to Sandra. Hey, how are you? You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Hi, Sherwin.
Hi.
I'm okay. How are you?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We're talking about food, tips, restaurants. Talking about our bad people in the city. Not you, but Al. Well, what I really called now, my daughter, she was managing a restaurant, 2 of them, in fact. And she said, I think it is kind of, the tips are kind of not on point. But because one day we went in and she came by me and she was crying because the little white people she worked with was saying the tips are not very good from, I guess, us. And my daughter was actually crying, and I said, wow. But I don't know. I don't look at her. She doesn't seem unhappy with the job. She seemed to like it. But anyways, I wanted to say, too, and we do dance. A lot of people don't. I don't know if they know it or they don't like to do this type of dance, but it's just simple dance. It's the Chicago-style stepping, the boppers, line dancing. We got a lot of stuff going on. In fact, they even got stuff going on to donate to, the causes, the health causes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on. We just can't get the people to come out, and a lot of them, especially the men, they love their football and their sports. So they probably need a sports bar. Maybe they'll come out and then we can put them on the floor too. And so I just called to say there are good things in Milwaukee. I don't like to make them bad because they label all of us that way. And even if Al can holler and scream, he's still black too. So they just label all of us to be bad, which we're not. We got a lot of good things going on.
That's right. But about the stepping and the bopping, Sandra, young people are not doing that. And when you go to those places where people are stepping, it's probably because that is what they are featuring that night. Like you wouldn't go to a downtown nightclub and start stepping because you'd be the only one doing it. So I think you might be referencing when I said that nobody really dances anymore. Most young people, because I don't think you should be over 40 out here in these clubs, but young people, they don't dance anymore. But you are a stepper, and I've actually seen you dance. You're very, very talented, but you go to places and spaces and events where stepping is going to be featured, and they're going to be playing stepping music.
Chicago.
So, yeah, you're a little bit
Chicago.
A little different. But most young people that are out here in the nightlife scene, they don't dance. But I also remark that men don't dance either. Say it again?
Right, I did when I was young, sure. We put our jukebox in the alley.
Sandra, that was a long time ago. Like now, the kids are not dancing. They're not dancing like they used to. Or if the girls are dancing, they're shaking their tail feathers. It's not the same. Like dancing used to be artistic. It is not like that anymore.
Very. But they pick up guns, so we want to get them away. And we do have young folks starting to get in. So, and they are they're good, and they can produce more than we can, you know. So if we can get the young folks, I think we can break them up from all of that culture. I think so.
All right, good luck.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye then. Bye-bye. Oh, where do I begin? I don't want to make it sound like... So I love black people. I just don't always agree with how people act. Because I don't want to sound... Because we sound anti-black a little bit. And no. I don't want to sound that way. We just have... we have a standard. Some of us do. And it seems that standard has eroded... And there's reasons for that. Whether people admit it or not, I can always tell by how people behave when they're in public. This might be hard for some of y'all to hear, but it's the absolute truth, and maybe we deal with it. Maybe we just brush it under the rug. But there are some parents who legitimately hate their kids. They hate them. They tell them they hate them. They can't wait till they turn 18. They didn't want them. They complain about what their kids do to their lifestyle. Oh, if it wasn't for you. And you can tell when children are not wanted because they turn into a particular kind of adult that need and seek attention because their parents didn't want them. And that's very, very common. And it creates a kind of personality. The number of parents that legitimately hate their kids. You ever listen to how they talk to their kids sometimes? That's not how you talk to your children if you love them. And also, if you love your children, you train them up. You tell them how to act. You show them how to act. You want the world to see how you have disciplined and trained your children, because when your children leave the house, and your children might be 40, when your children leave the house, they are a complete representation of home. That has faded away. Now it's a free-for-all, act any way you want to act, because there's so many people that are engaged in what I'm going to call below-board activities. It's just really embarrassing. And not to compare us to the white folks, but that's where our disparities exist with the biggest gap. When white folks go out there, I'm claiming a trailer park. They don't relegate their poor to being authentic. We do. We relegate a low-rent culture to keeping it real. Real what? Black folks create and invent. We're scientists. We're engineers. We're mathematicians. That is the culture that I subscribe to. It's why we have Black History Month, so we can learn about all these incredible and wonderful things that black people did. To me, that is our culture. The part that we don't know about, the part that they keep hidden, the part that they don't teach us in schools because they don't want us to know how great we are. That's my black culture. The part that they're afraid of, the part that they can't compete with, the part that they're jealous of. See, that's what I want to emulate. Not what's obvious, what's common, and what's general. Nobody wants to be that. I'm going to take a break, come back. I don't know, talk about some happy stuff, I guess. How much weed you guys are going to smoke this weekend. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tired of managing your rental property? Or maybe you just don't know where to start? At Odom Investments and Property Management, our professional team handles everything from tenant placement to maintenance and rent collection, so you don't have to. Let us take the stress out of property management. Call 855-ODOM-WAY or 855-636-6929 and experience the Odom way today.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity and they ignore how hard the black person had to work and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then a black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. All month, we're honoring the voices, the stories, and the achievements that have shaped our past, empowered our present, and continue to inspire our future. Tune in to Dr. Ken's Trivia, spotlighting powerful facts and moments you need to know, and Tori Lowe's Our Voices, Our Stories, highlighting the youth. Tune in all month long for another day as 1017 The Truth spotlights Black history, which is happening every day. 1017 The Truth's celebration of Black History Month is proudly sponsored by Educators Credit Union. And this song that you're listening to right now was requested via our talk to text line. This one is called Capital Drive. Who requested this? Let me see. Somebody I was just texting back and forth. We got a few text messages actually. Marquise requested this, so there you go, Marquise. Capital Drive for you. Mary says, as February is coming to an end, did you notice that February has 28 days in the month? Yeah, I knew that, Mary. She goes on to say, that means the days are even. We have 4 Sundays and 4 Mondays and 4 Tuesdays and 4 Wednesdays. Yep, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, and 4 Saturdays in the month. That means 4 even weeks in February. This won't happen again in my lifetime. Wait, what? Hold on. That's not every February? Well, I guess that must be because this month must have started on a Sunday. Oh, well, thank you, Mary, for pointing that out for us. Leon says, ratchet behavior at a 5-star restaurant is crazy. I blame ratchet culture like the Baddies reality TV show and drill music for setting Black people back. I don't know which comes first, Leon, and thank you for your text message. The chicken or the egg? Is it the music that influenced the people? Or did that culture already exist and they made music to suit it? I think one may follow or flow from the other. If you notice, and that's Black culture too, even though I find it to be a little distasteful. It can be rude, obnoxious, it's boisterous, it's very much in your face. It has low self-esteem but high confidence, if that makes any sense to you, that kind of behavior. But because it is a piece of Black culture, notice that that's never highlighted during Black History Month. You think that it would be. If it was significant to us and who we are, it would be featured, it would be discussed, it would be talked about. Reality TV shows and certain behaviors and certain styles of dress, but that stuff, if you notice, is never highlighted. It is a part of what black culture is, but it is not highlighted because at its core, it is not who we are. Rodney sent Zach a text. Rodney said, "Good morning, Zach. When is the drawing for the $5,000 cake, and who's going to be the host?" Hell, we don't know. We just gave it away. Just this month? Didn't we give away the 5Gs early this month?
Yeah, I think on the 2nd.
So we're not giving that money away again till May. So we don't know who's going to be the host yet, Rodney. We'll figure that out. LT sent a picture with a broken link, so we don't know what that is, LT. It might be some porn, so probably a good thing I can't open it up. What else we got? Rodney says, folks today are smoking blunts in the open as it is normal. The way blunts originated in New York was to add pipe tobacco to fragrance and not to spread the aroma of weed. It's not the best additive, but it was effective. Yeah, I don't know where blunts came from. I know that they used to be very popular. In fact, they permeated their way into the culture. There's a particular brand of blunt. A blunt is just cigar, rolling marijuana, making a marijuana cigarette out of cigar paper. So there was a brand called Philly's Blunts, and it worked our way into music, and a lot of rappers were talking about Philly blunts. And so when you split a Philly blunt open, of course you have to take out the guts, which is all of the shredded tobacco. There was a separate detached piece of tobacco rolling paper inside the Philly where you didn't have to peel it, you didn't have to dissect it. So if you cut it open and you remove the tobacco shreds, there was a rolling paper in there waiting for you, and they made it very, very easy. Well, at least that's what I heard. I don't know if it actually works that way, but they became extremely popular. But what I found, or what I read, is that people that, back in the day, that preferred to smoke their marijuana with tobacco paper got addicted to the nicotine in the tobacco paper. That was another issue that they had, because there is nicotine in cigar paper. Vince says the Capitol Grill. Oh no, have we ruined it? Have we ruined the Capitol Grill? I made a recommendation. So the Capitol Grill is not my favorite because their parent company is Applebee's, and the Capitol Grill is expensive. But if you're gonna go to the one that's here downtown, the bar area is where I sit because it's quieter, it's cozier, and it's more intimate. And they got maybe 3, maybe 4 tables in the bar area, or you can sit at the bar, which is a little bit more casual. But the Capitol Grill provides really nice ambiance in the bar area because it's separate than the main restaurant. But I haven't been to the main restaurant on the Capitol Grill at night in, what year is this, 2026? Probably 10 years, 15 years. Lot can change in 10 or 15 years, especially when it comes to places in Milwaukee. But yeah, I didn't know that we may have changed the Capitol Grill. Marquis says, to be honest, white people made the hood, and I don't want any parts of it. Dawn says, what you talking about? 40-plus-year-old people should be out in clubs dancing. I do and always will until I die. 90-year-old shaking it, hoping not to break a hip, but if I do, it's worth it. And I can tell by Dawn's last name that I guarantee she can't dance. Bruh. Damn. You're too old, Dawn. Young people don't want to see you in their places. Get out. Go somewhere where older people go. Go somewhere where it's age appropriate. Because I remember when I was in the streets, last thing I wanted to see was somebody in their 40s out at my spot. What you doing in here, you old pervert? Go get on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Don't come into these spots where there's a bunch of young people. And plus, I know I'm too old. I walk into a place like that, I look like somebody's daddy. Or somebody's zaddy. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On On Wednesday night, the Milwaukee Panthers wrap up their regular season schedule as they host conference foe, the Youngstown State Penguins, at Milwaukee Panthers Arena.
20 to shoot. Elam will. No on the three. To the top. Ricochet. Dorceus. He'll take the three, and he'll bury it.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, build a budget, even help you improve your credit. You can move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families in our community become homeowners, and many are paying a lot less than what they're paying Barada. So don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. axehousing.org. Your legacy begins at home. Now, why don't we check out the poll? We asked y'all, should a restaurant, did we say restaurant? Damn poll disappeared. Or should a restaurant be able to refuse service if you smell like weed? Here it is. Should businesses refuse service for marijuana odor? That's pretty convincing with 98 votes. 63% of you say yes. And here's the thing. I'm going to assume that 63% of you, when you go out to, we're talking about restaurants. That was the context. We can't always put long paragraphs in the descriptions of our polls. I usually go into more precise detail during my show. But if you're going out to a restaurant that's known for delicious food, why would you want anything interrupting the smell of that delicious food? And if you are a paying customer, and I bet you the 63% that say, yes, businesses should refuse service for marijuana odor, you don't want to smell that stuff. At the very least, it just doesn't feel hygienic if you smell bad. Even though we know what the smell is, it isn't a pleasant smell. It's an obvious smell, It's a telltale smell, but it's not the same as wearing some really, really nice cologne or some really scrumptious smelling perfume. What did we learn today? We learned that people are even showing up to the courthouse smelling like marijuana, to where Judge David Borowski, who I've met before, who I've interviewed before, he is a really tough cookie. And he is lamenting about someone coming into his criminal courtroom about to get sentenced, smelling of marijuana. When you're about to get sentenced, and maybe this is advice some of you should take, maybe you don't want to take it, it's up to you. You want as much leniency, I'm assuming, as possible. And anything that you do, anything that you say, even how you appear, how you show up, could help or hinder that judge's decision, because they can go all the way up to the maximum penalty, whatever state law defines, when they sentence you. And if you don't care, and if you show a level of disrespect for the court, like, you got to stand up when the judge enters the room. They are very respected people in our society, and you should be carrying yourself and conducting yourself accordingly when you're in their courtroom, especially because they're going to make a decision that can impact your freedom. So I'm hoping we don't have to repeat this public service announcement. And also, if you have a court date, maybe it's an initial appearance, maybe it's your arraignment, maybe you're appearing before a grand jury, maybe you're about to give your plea, or maybe you've been found guilty and you're about to be sentenced. That's probably the most important thing you're going to do that day, is appear in court. And so being sober, having all of your mental faculties, but then also looking the part. Something else is happening in our society, and I think this is just my age, and I got to get used to this, because this clearly is a trend that is here to stay. Wearing like a tuxedo, like getting a real nice suit. Every man should have you got to have a nice suit, fellas. Preferably a couple, because they're not that expensive. But you also, if you stay roughly the same weight, a good suit will last you 20 years. In fact, if I've ever replaced a suit, a sport coat, or a jacket, it's because I outfatted it. But a good quality suit will last you a really long time. You don't got to buy one every single week, is what I'm saying. And you need formal wear, you know what I mean? But so what I'm seeing, and what I've been seeing for years, and I just got to get used to it, a fella, will be wearing a real nice suit. Maybe he's going to the prom. Going to his senior prom. Got his tuxedo on, and then he'll be wearing, like, Jordans. That's the thing that they do. I personally, and this is just me, I'm an old funny duddy. You can't really be, in my opinion, super duper dressed up if you got tennis shoes on. You know what I mean? You can't, to me, if you're wearing a tuxedo, because nice dress shoes, there's some real comfortable, because some people think, oh, they're not comfortable. No, there's some comfortable dress shoes.
Which ones? I've never worn a comfortable pair of dress shoes in my life.
You got to go and try some on. There's some that have the nice little padded little. They also have to fit, too. That might be the other issue. But seeing somebody really dress, I mean, even girls do it. They'll be wearing their nice little dresses, and they got Jordans on. They're wearing tennis shoes. There was a social media discussion that I opted not to chime in on because I would have got booed. How old is too old to stop wearing Jordans? And people are like, there is no age. There's no age. But have you ever seen a 70? Well, my generation probably will be wearing Jordans in their 70s. Because when the first Jordans came out, we were in 5th grade. Or if you're born in 75, which is true Generation X, we are the pinnacle. We are the alpha and the omega of our generation, the 75 babies. When Jordans came out, in fact, before Air Jordans, there were Sky Jordans. They weren't even Air Jordans yet. And they were blue and they were white. Those were some of the first, like, really important tennis shoes. That was the genesis of sneaker culture. And then Magic Johnson had a shoe, and Larry Bird had a shoe, and then Charles Barkley had a shoe. I've only owned one pair of Jordans in my entire life. And I think I only got that. I was in high school. I was a junior in high school. And the only reason why I got them was peer pressure. After Jordan and them won that championship, I think in 91, the popularity of everything Chicago Bulls just exploded. Even people from Milwaukee was wearing Chicago stuff. We don't really do that now because now that'll get you thrown in a dumpster. But back then, the Milwaukee Bucks were not so very good. They got a little bit better in the 90s, in the late 90s and early 2000s. But like the late 80s and the early 90s, the Bucks were absolute trash. And so they were so popular that you wanted to be one of the cool kids. Now, here's the thing. I was one of the cool kids, but I still succumbed to the peer pressure. And I got those red and black Jordans. I don't even know what the Jordan 3s or 4s or whatever ones came out in 1990, 1991. They were black and orange, which was weird because orange is not a Chicago Bull color. And when I look back at those shoes, they actually were ugly. They were not. Some Jordan designs, you guys got to admit, are not the best. There's some that are dope, that are like classic, that are beautiful, that are like pieces of art. And there's other Jordans that are just like, they'll buy anything. But I never quite understood getting all dressed up. And I like to get dressed up every now and again. Some of y'all have caught me outside dressed all fancy. Got my little suit on, looking all snazzy. What else we learned today? The Black Travel Summit is going to be coming to Milwaukee this fall. They are an American group of folks that travel all over the world, and they blog and they post about it and they give their travel experiences. They were in Rio de Janeiro in 2025. They're coming to our city in October of this year, so looking forward to that. Oh, also, told my roach story of a restaurant that I went to with Cupcake, and we even posted a picture of the roach that I saw crawling on the lamp at the table that I was sitting at a very popular eatery in Milwaukee. We also found out that cockroaches were found during a health inspection at the Wicked Hop, which forced their temporary closure, but it's also a lot more common than you may think. We also talked about some of your bad dining experiences and behavior and etiquette when you're out to eat. When you're going into a fine dining restaurant, if you're going to like quick service, if you're going to Panera or Chipotle, who cares? But if you're going to a place that's fancy and upscale, part of the reason why it's so fancy and upscale, you hope the food is of high quality, so that's number one. But you are paying for an atmosphere and a culture that you don't get everywhere else. You have your own culture that you subscribe to, and maybe it's because of your ethnic background or maybe your age that can have an influence on how you present yourself culturally. But if you're going into a high-end establishment, and Milwaukee has no shortage of them, you were walking into somebody else's culture, a curated culture, an experience. And you don't necessarily bring your culture, your ratchetness into that place. You have to adapt and play the part when you're walking into an already established and sophisticated dining establishment. Also, don't smoke any marijuana, or if you do, try not to smell like it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
This Black History Month, 1017 The Truth, opening up the mic to Milwaukee's youth. Young boys and girls sharing what Black history